welcome to the third episode of The Backlog Boat. As always, I am the captain, Roberto Gonzalez. To my left, we have the doctor, Stephanie Aguilar. And even further to my left, we have the navigator, Jacob Burt, being doxxed yet again.
Didn't even get to say our own fucking names. You already fucked up the intro.
I've always said your guys' names.
Yeah, but usually we get to say a blurb afterwards. You didn't even wait.
Yeah, no.
I didn't get to have my moment this time. All right.
You have something to add, doctor?
No. We are your crew.
That's how it works, Jake. All right, before we begin, I did want to tell a little anecdote, if that's fine, with the crew.
I don't give a shit.
Okay. So, for those of you that don't know, I work with cars. I'm in the used car salesman business. Awful, terrible, I know. And sometimes when we're fixing up cars, or when we first get them, they don't always start. So this last weekend, I found myself in a position. Me and a couple of dudes were trying to get a car a hill. So we're pushing it. And as we get halfway up the hill, we realize we don't have the momentum. We're not going to be able to do this. We got to let it go back down and use momentum to push it up. Unfortunately, right when we realized this, school was letting out and a group of kids were walking behind us. So we had to hold the car there having gravity against us. And we're just pushing up against this thing while these kids are walking completely carefree. They don't care that we're struggling here, pushing up this heavy ass car. And as I sat there, just pain, I couldn't help but think, man, this is so much better than playing fucking Tetris.
You're such a fucking piece of shit.
Tetris fucking sucks, and it's the worst goddamn thing.
So fucking full of shit. I forgot about this shit, but I'm glad that I'm mad again. I was mad about other shit, but now I'm mad about this shit again. Stephanie, this motherfucker doesn't like Tetris.
I think that's kind of ridiculous, but also
that is the dumbest. I have some fucking takes, but that is the dumbest fucking thing I've ever fucking heard.
Tetris came out, I don't know,
Tetris
how fucking
is
long
the
ago.
Perfect video game. There's literally nothing wrong with it.
There is everything wrong with it.
Everybody likes Tetris.
No one fucking gives a shit about Tetris. Who the fuck plays Tetris?
Nobody gives a shit about Tetris. My grandpa will play that shit. My dad will play that shit. My mom will play that shit. My sister will play that shit. My aunt, who's never played a fucking video game in her life, played fucking Tetris on the PlayStation 1. You're so fucking full of shit.
What the fuck even is Tetris? You're stacking up blocks of 4? If you're gonna do that, just go fucking build me a fucking house in Fortnite.
It's literally an infinitely satisfying puzzle game, bro. I don't know what you want. It is the epitome of good gameplay design.
We have games like The Last of Us, like God of War. We have fighting games with complex things. And in 2023, you're telling me you want to sit down and play Tetris?
Is too good for Tetris, and he's about to tell me he's too good for Pac-Man too.
You know what? I ain't gonna say shit on Pac-Man. Pac-Man's fun. There's an enemy chasing you. You're going things. You're doing things. Fine. But fucking Tetris?
Stephanie, I had this argument with Robert at his house earlier this month. And I was like, saying you don't like Tetris is saying you don't like vanilla ice cream. And then Robert dead ass stared me in the eyes and said, I don't.
Now you're just lying. I said I do like vanilla ice cream.
No, you were like,
I said I
gotta have some shit on it. And I was like, what the fuck you mean it's gotta have some shit on it?
Anything, chocolate syrup.
I was like, vanilla ice cream or you get nothing? And you're like, I would rather have nothing. Stephanie, you gotta wait.
Yeah, okay, that's true. I did say that. I would rather have nothing than vanilla ice cream.
If you don't have a good opinion on vanilla ice cream and Tetris, I'm leaving this podcast right fucking now.
I think I will say this. Robert did bring this up a while ago. Robert is missing a key piece. He didn't grow up on it either. So he doesn't
matter.
But he still doesn't have that nostalgia, and I feel like that's
there is no nostalgia. It's just fun.
I think it's pretty fun, but also
I'm not wow, this takes me back to when I was 7 years old, bro. No, I'm just
told you.
Damn, I'm having a fun time. Wow, crazy.
No, no.
I think you're just objectively fucking stupid.
I think the Tetris just sucks, and I will die on that hill.
I've never heard. Are you even a gamer, bro?
Apparently not. If that is what you're judging a gamer by, I made the argument that Pong and even Wall Breaker were
Pong
better.
and Wallbreaker are
Fuck both of
fun.
those. Fuck both of those too. I don't want to fucking touch that shit in 2023. Yeah, get the fuck out of here.
This motherfucker is too good for games that were just fun.
You know what Pong is? Let's go play soccer instead. There we go. Bam.
You wouldn't last a goddamn second if we played soccer.
Jake, I'll kick the ball in your face. And I'll be like playing Wall Breaker now too.
All right, bro. If you're so down for athletics, bro, it's a judo match. Episode 2, run it back.
Episode 2.
No, he did judo.
Oh, okay. You know what? I think we're getting carried away here.
Why? Do you not want to talk about what happened?
Look. I got my ass kicked. That's all. That's all we gotta say. So, video games.
No, like I'm still mad about this shit, dude.
You're still mad about Tetris.
I was so fucking stressed about trying to graduate and shit that I legit forgot about this Tetris shit. But now that I'm reminded, I am equally as mad as I was back like fucking 3 weeks ago. I am less concerned about getting my fucking computer science degree than I am about you not liking Tetris. What an absurd fucking opinion.
Stephanie, we played Tetris.
It's like saying you hate Kraft macaroni and cheese. It's like saying you hate vanilla ice cream. It's like saying you fucking don't like labs. Like, what is wrong with you?
So we played Tetris that day just because you wanted to prove to me that maybe I was just stupid. Maybe I was just wrong. Maybe there's something about the game that I would see if I played it. I fucking didn't. Shit sucks.
Oh no, I played Tetris with you because I wanted to have fun. I don't give a fuck if you don't have fun playing one of the funnest games ever made.
That's a goddamn lie. It is not one of the funnest games you've ever played.
Tetris is objectively one of the funnest fucking video games ever made. Stephanie, step in here. Stop being a silent bystander. I need gratification.
It is true. It is really fun. I really like it, and also too.
When's the last
can
time you
just
played
zone
Tetris,
out.
Stephanie?
The last time I played, well, that's a good. Oh,
Was it this year? Was it last year? Was it 2 years ago? 3 years ago?
It was last year. I can say that it was last year.
Must be a memorable night. When was this?
Well, I'm just letting you know it was earlier on in the year. So, you want to know why? Because you can just like zone out, and you really can just have fun. Like it is a good thing.
I'm just saying, set the speed to whatever you want it to be. Are you just trying to vibe and feel good? You know, just listen to those classic Tetris beats and then drop them bricks. Are you trying to challenge yourself, bro? Tetris has a competitive scene that is engaging to watch. So much, in fact, they made a Tetris Battle Royale that fucks. You're stupid, Robert. You're fucking stupid.
Battle Royale.
I'm the captain now. Shut your goddamn mouth.
Let's not get carried away.
You're off the fucking podcast. I'm replacing you with Connor. I swear to God.
Tetris can suck my dick. All right, it's fine. Agree to disagree.
No, I don't.
Yeah, I don't think that
This man hates dogs. This man hates vanilla ice cream. This man hates Tetris. This man hates freedom.
I do hate freedom.
What?
I said I do hate freedom. It was a joke. I obviously
no, it
don't hate
wasn't.
freedom.
This man hates Tetris. He obviously hates, I don't know, probably everybody. What's an attacked minority right now? He hates you and Tetris.
Did you just call Stephanie a minority?
I said, what is an attacked minority right now? Whatever you are, Robert hates you and Tetris.
I'm just saying, fuck Tetris. That's it. That's literally it.
Okay.
That was just my stance.
Okay. I'm mad. Like, I don't give a shit.
All right. Anyway, so video games. We all played video games this month. Does anyone want to start, or should I just keep this?
Oh, I can
this
start
thing going
if you want.
All right. Let's hear from the navigator.
Okay. So this month I played a little game called Tetris Effect.
Wow, this worked out great, didn't it?
Shut your fucking mouth, Robert. Tetris Effect it's a Tetris game, clearly, obviously. That dropped, I think, like 2019, 2020, sometime around there. And it's just Tetris. Like, Tetris is just pure, good, wholesome fun.
Oh, so it's boring and it sucks?
But
or did they do something different?
Well, I mean, it's a $30 game, so clearly money went somewhere. The deal with Tetris Effect is it's got a campaign, like many Tetris games before. But the deal about this campaign is you are traveling through the galaxy, and every like level set, so we'll say each level set has like 3 or 4 levels in it, is a song. And the speed that you're playing at is dependent on the song, it's beats per minute. And this soundtrack goes fucking hard.
So it's a rhythm game.
Not really. You're not trying to match the rhythm. Like, it does that, what was his name? Was it Mike Gordon? Am I a fraud?
I don't
Is it
know.
Mick Gordon? Mick Gordon, there we go. It does that Mick Gordon shit. The guy who made the Doom soundtrack. Everything you do is synced up to the beat. So whenever you rotate a block, or shimmy a block left to right, or drop a block, it produces an extra beat on top of the current song that you're listening to. And you're just making beautiful music while playing Tetris.
Oh, it sounds cool.
It is cool. That game is fucking magical. Like, most of the game is made out of just straight up particle effects. So there's this level, and you hear this like ominous like chanting in the background. And then it's just like little particles of a fire as you're dropping your blocks down. And then the fire in the background starts getting bigger the more blocks you have dropping or the more lines you match. And then the chanting gets louder and faster as you're playing. And then eventually the beat drops. And then those blocks just start coming down at lightning speed. And there is a raging inferno and people surrounding it, fanning the flames. And you're like, hot damn. Like Tetris Effect, it's just kind of a dope experience. Like, it looks good, sounds good. It's Tetris. So obviously it plays good.
Obviously.
Yeah, obviously the jazz level was cool. Fuck you. I enjoyed making sweet jazz while playing Tetris. I made some really cool, smooth jazz tunes and dropped them fucking blocks, dog. That is what I did with my time. As I said, you got me so fucked up. You ruined my vernacular training that I did over the past 2 months. I'm back to my saying dog and saying fucking too much.
Well,
Tetris Effect rules. Game's free on like PlayStation Plus. So, what is like the PlayStation equivalent of Game Pass?
I don't know. It doesn't really matter because no one's gonna fucking play Tetris. So
Whatever. Just shut your fucking mouth.
I'm literally gonna play that now, just right after this.
It's fun. It's relaxing until it's not. But it's like the music in it. When I first booted up the game, I legit almost cried because I was like, "Wow, this is just."
Shut the fuck up! You
I
did not. You did not.
did. I
You
started
did
tearing
not.
up because
There
I was
is
like, "Wow,
no fucking
the
way."
way this music sounds and the way these visuals are making me feel this is an interactive art piece,
Bro.
and I get to play Tetris. This fucking rules."
Okay. All right. Okay.
Look, man, you don't believe me? Boot it up. Download it. Play the first run.
I'm not gonna.
And if you're a Tetris fiend, if you're one of them Tetris gods that just likes getting in there and challenging themselves, they have that for you. There's multiple difficulty modes and a post-game mode. So you know how I said there's like, I don't know, like 3 or 4 levels in each section, and then you move on to the next section of songs. There is a mode in the game where if you fuck up and lose, you can just restart the song then and there and just keep going.
See, I thought
But
you were.
then they got
say...
the challenge mode where it's, hey, beat the game without fucking up at all. Anyway, so they have the Washington level, is the only way I'll describe it. And it's like the forests of Washington made out of particle effects, and it's just raining. And it's so atmospheric and moody. I love it. But man, you know what Tetris is about? Tetris is about
building a wall.
Making mistakes.
How beautiful.
You make mistakes, and it's okay. Because you know what? You build off those mistakes. You learn from those mistakes. Wherever you're at right now, you can get back to where you were before. And if you can't, you could always just start over, bro. It's okay. Tetris is here for you. And Robert doesn't understand that.
Yeah, that was beautiful. I ain't gonna lie, Robert. I don't know how you can argue with that.
I
See, Robert-
let him have his moment. I didn't interrupt for that. I let him speak.
Stephanie, what'd you do with your week? What'd you play?
I played Witchwood, but are you sure you all are done going at each other's throats for Tetris? We can go back.
I'm gonna be angry about this for the next 5 years. Minimum.
That's fair. Yeah.
Yeah, and then the Tetris 2 will come out, and it'll be in VR.
This game is in VR, you stupid bitch.
Did you play it in VR?
No, because I want to set up my PlayStation VR.
Well, then it'll be in the metaverse, except you'll actually have to move the blocks with your hands. And then I'm gonna be like, wow, this is just like moving. Fucking sucks.
This man doesn't get the joy or the peace or the catharsis that comes along with just enjoying Tetris. And I feel bad.
You know what I do? I build puzzles. Same shit. Except I have a beautiful picture to look at the end.
It's like those people with like nut allergies. Like there's just so many things in life they can't experience.
Like what, Jake?
I know peanut butter is pretty lit. Like peanut butter is pretty solid. I
I
love
gave it to you and you didn't take it, so
I'm sorry, bro. I was just generally thinking about all the peanut products I like.
okay.
Like just regular almonds. Like I fuck with some Blue Diamond.
Yeah.
All right then. Well, what I ended up playing was called Witchwood. And basically, it is a crafting simulation, since you all are going to ask. And it's just a crafting adventure game. It's pretty nice. You play as a witch and you go around basically crafting from different things. And it's just really beautiful. Also, too, the music in it is really nice. And it's just like a joy. And basically, the whole point of the game is that you are trying to basically like save a princess. It's like very Sleeping Beauty-ish. And so it's like really nice.
So is it just
Well-
like is it like a little survival game? My sister was trying to get me to play this. She downloaded it on my PlayStation 4. I just haven't gotten around to playing it.
Technically, it's not, because you're not crafting to survive. You're crafting to like save this princess and get to like the next different like worlds. Basically, you can still die in the game if that makes sense, but that's not the goal.
So is it like kind of like Animal Crossing where there's a little town in the woods, or is it just actually woods that are just empty and you have to build stuff?
What? I feel like with Animal Crossing, like there's not a goal. Like you get to, well, I won't say that. There are like things that you can do for yourself, right? But in this, there is a goal to kind of save this lady that's asleep, like near you. And you are a witch, right? And so you're like, I have no idea how this person got there. So you're also like remembering what happened. So there is a goal to the game, but it is very similar to Animal Crossing where you're like crafting things.
But this ends then. So like once you save the princess, the game has a game over and it's over, or can you keep
You can still
playing? Like,
craft if you really wanted to. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can still explore. Because there's a whole lot. Like also too, since you're a witch, right? You have to like learn all of these different spells. And so you have I always say this fucking wrong. A grimoire. And so basically you're filling your grimoire with all of these different things that you need. And I believe you can still keep collecting them even after you finish the like main thing. So
is there enemies
nice.
or things trying to kill you actively?
Yeah, there is. Like in the beginning, like a dog is trying to bite you. And at first you don't think it's like a bad thing, but like no, it's terrible. So
Oh, that
it
sounds
was
cute.
nice.
So is it like a top-down perspective? Like what are we looking at?
Yes, technically it would be, I think, right?
Like I got Zelda vibes from looking at the screenshots, but as I said, I didn't actually get around to playing it.
Can be, yeah. I would say that. Like Breath of the Wild vibes.
So it's
Actually-
not top down.
Okay, now I'm confused.
I meant
Like-
like I think what she means is the same gameplay loop, but like it's got that perspective and vibe of the SNES and NES titles.
Okay.
Unless I'm just putting words in your mouth.
No, I guess basically.
I know you're the one who played it. You fucking tell me.
Y'all, I'm just trying to play these fucking games, but here you ask like the most technical questions.
Okay,
Because
well, top
we
down
didn't
is
play them. So yeah, we're asking you like
Like
everything
you guys
about
never
them.
ask it to each other. But anyway,
That's
okay.
y'all's problem. If you want to talk to
and
me
I
about
think
Tetris, I'm here for it. I'll spend the next 3 hours talking about Tetris.
I think we should. I don't know. I think probably the biggest thing about it is that, like, for one, it's just like basically an RPG sort of. You're just crafting, you're going with the storyline. So basically, Final Fantasy meets Animal Crossing. It's just that good shit and good music. And you just go around and you just craft.
I don't know. That sounds too relaxing. Might be too much like Tetris.
Oh my god.
If I wasn't like choking to death on oxygen right now and too busy coughing off mic, I would scream at you. I swear to God, dude.
I mean, that sounds fun. It sounds like a good time. And if it's got a good soundtrack, that's what I'm all about.
I'm sorry. Last I checked, Robert hated fun and peace and the simple things in life.
It sounds like you got a lot to do there. You got to collect things in your grimoire. You got to fight off dogs. Maybe that's just something Stephanie does. Save a princess.
You're fighting off a lot of things. That was just an example.
I'm just saying, your history.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I promise. I didn't kill the dog. You don't have to kill him. So, it's good stuff.
You don't have to, but you can.
No, we've grown. We've learned.
Hold on, can you kill him?
I
Did
don't
you
know.
kill
I
the
never
dog?
tried to.
Okay,
Yeah.
see, I was hoping
That
to,
seems
I
pretty
was
out of
hoping-
character.
I was hoping to catch you there. I was hoping that you were like, you can, but
Again, it's 2023. It's all about growth and healing. Anyway,
so what would you rate it?
I really like it. I would say probably like an 8 or 9. 8 or 9 out of 10.
All
Good stuff.
right.
Cool. I can't wait for you to remember every single detail about this game when we do the end of the year wrap up.
Don't you worry. I will.
I too played a game.
Okay, I was going to say it's Stephanie's job to segue out of this one, but I guess Robert will go ahead and do that.
Oh, you can segue if you want.
I mean, you've been doing it
I mean,
since the
he
beginning
already-
when we didn't. So, yeah.
Yeah, he already jumped in. It's fine.
Yeah.
He didn't want to.
I'm the captain, damn it.
Didn't want to give her the opportunity to segue out of her own section.
I know. It's cool.
All right. Well,
Robert does hate women.
I
Fuck.
don't know what would make you say that.
Because you don't like
Tetris.
Tetris.
I don't know how those two correlate.
I
The
think that
same
should be
type
the
of
name of the
people that
episode.
don't fuck with Tetris are the same kind of people that beat women. These are facts. Ted Bundy fucking hated Tetris.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and carry on. But first, I'm going to deny those allegations. So, The Last of Us is one of my favorite games of all time. And especially now with the hype of the TV show, and there's a new remaster coming on PC. I really wanted to play The Last of Us. And The Last of Us is a game set in a post-apocalyptic world. And yeah, there's monsters, but it's really a story about a man and how he grows a fatherly bond with a girl that isn't his daughter and might also be the savior of humanity.
Bitch, are you really talking about Last of Us on the backlog vote right now?
It takes
A game you've played at least 10 times in the past 5 years?
it takes place over the course of a year, and if you're playing it, it'll take you about 15 hours if you just run it. And it tells this beautiful story.
There isn't a single person on this goddamn planet who owns a PlayStation 3, 4, or 5 who hasn't played The Last of Us.
So imagine my surprise when Lisa tells the same story within the first 10 minutes with no spoken dialogue and just as much impact.
There we go. That's the validation I've been looking for fucking years.
So this game might be my game of the year.
I'm actually about to drive down there and punch you in the goddamn cock. I swear to fucking Christ, Robert.
I played Lisa, and this game is so fucking fun.
I thought
Like,
this Tetris shit had me mad? Fuck you, dude. I gotta mute myself to stop how fucking mad I am right now.
If I had to describe what Lisa is in a few words, I think I would choose the opposite of Tetris. It's just that fucking good. Lisa is a game made in RPG Maker, and yeah, like I said, very similar story to The Last of Us. You're in a post-apocalyptic world. There is no women. Women are just gone. So it's just a bunch of dudes. And then this guy finds a baby, and it's a baby girl. He decides to raise her in secret because the world is wild, and it's a wild place for a woman there. And he raises her, she grows up. Eventually, the secret gets out, and his not daughter gets kidnapped. And over the course of the game, you're trying to save your daughter. Well, your not daughter. The combat's fun. The music is amazing. All the sound design is just beautiful. It's full of jokes, and it's got a really dark sense of humor, but it does it so well, and it fits the tone of the world. So you'll find yourself laughing at a bunch of orphan kids being burnt to death. And that sounds bad now, but it's actually the funniest fucking thing I've ever seen. Nothing? Nothing to add?
Okay, I've cooled down a little bit. Yeah, so anyway, I'm so mad because this is one of my favorite video games ever. And I recommended this shit to Robert like 5 years ago. And now he bothers getting around to playing it.
It's so good.
I know. That's what I said multiple times.
And
I was like, I don't know if you could have a better RPG experience for $8.
Yeah, no, it's just one of the funnest things I've played. The fact that all the characters are so unique, because you have a party of people that you pick up as you go along, and they all have such a personality to them, and it fits in like every aspect of them, how they fight, how they talk, the items they equip, everything just fits every character so well. I haven't beat it yet, Jake, and it's because I've been taking my time with it because I really like it. I want to go see everything. And there's a lot of it. It has a lot of secrets, a lot of little things that you don't even need to do, but if you do them, it's really fucking funny.
Yeah.
One of the things that I hate but also love about this game is you can fall off a cliff and die, and it's game over. And there's a lot of places where you have to run back and forth. So you might be trying to get somewhere as fast as you can. And the controls aren't hard, but they are precise. So you might be running back and accidentally just fall off a cliff. And it's just something that happens, and it's game over, and you have to go back to your last save file. But it's fine, because whatever. It's not the end of the world. There's a bit in the game where I find this rope. That's how you travel. You go up with ropes, or you can jump just one block up, or you can jump down cliffs. You'll take damage if the fall is too high, but if it's just like 1 or 2, 3 blocks, you won't take much damage. There's a spot where there's this rope, and there's a sign in front of it, and it says, important above. So start climbing this rope for a really long fucking time. Minutes. And by the time I'm probably halfway through it, I realize that this is a bit, and I'm going to be climbing for a long time. And I don't know what's going to be above there, but I'm like, you know what? I don't even care. I saved a little before this. I'm just going to jump off this bitch and die. When I finally get to the top, there is just a hand flipping me off. That's it. That's all there is up there. It's just a hand flipping me off. And I left. And then I went to go jump because I don't want to go all the way down. And the game stops me and says, I don't think you want to do that. Is that the only place you can't kill yourself?
I think that is the only place you can't kill yourself.
This game intentionally makes fun of you all the time, and it's a blast, and I love it. 10 out of 10. And I'm not even done with it. So yeah.
I don't know. For an RPG Maker game, Lisa is like, it does everything right. Like, the combat is difficult and engaging, but you can't beat it via raw numbers. Like, you always have to figure something out. You can't just grind until you're a high enough level to beat a boss. So, Robert, you get to it was like the hair dudes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so there's these dudes, and they got a wild ass perm that is so big that all 3 of their perms are tangled together, making some kind of like hair mutant homunculus that you have to fight. And the only way to get past that fight is to just figure out a way to do as much fire damage as possible. And there's legitimately so many options for you to just do that. So the way I did it is there's these homies that are like, hey man, we'll make you Molotov cocktails if you go grab this thing for us. And I was like, okay, cool. So that's how I got my massive amounts of fire damage. but there's like every single character has an entirely different ability set that can be used for a lot of things. So there's a guy that's just like, okay, my job is to throw full liquor bottles at people to get them soaked in liquor, and they'll take even more fire damage. Or another guy's like, yeah, I'll shoot these flaming arrows that light people on fire, or you could throw fireballs. Like you could do all these interesting party combinations to get the thing you want to do. So the game's kind of about, at least gameplay wise, exploiting all of your party members and equipment in such a way to just brutalize people. Because you'll do your basic attack against like the hair boss and you'll do like 30 damage. And then you'll have a guy chug an entire bottle of vodka in one go, puke on them, and then throw a Molotov on top of them, and then they'll take like 800 damage in one turn.
And I will add, I love the way this game makes you make decisions that matter.
No, this is a game about loss, and it makes you feel that loss.
Like your team members, they can. It's like any other RPG. You know, they die. You have to revive them after the fight or during the fight. But there's certain events and certain moves that will just permanently kill them. Like they are dead. They're gone from your party. Can't revive them. And I thought that was so cool. Because, like, at the beginning, I think one of the first decisions you make is, like, you get attacked by some dudes, and they're like, yeah, give us all your shit, or give us your homie, and we're going to kill him. And if you have your homie killed, he's just killed. And I won't get into the spoilers of another decision you have to make later, but it severely affects everything about your character. Like, moves you can do and everything, and I was just like, damn.
Yeah, there's also another big choice you have to make throughout the game. So your character is like, Brad is not a good dude. He's a martial arts master in a post-apocalyptic wasteland who is cripplingly depressed. And he deals with that depression by taking a recreational drug called Joy that just basically gets rid of your emotions.
And it makes you do hella damage.
Wrong. Brad does hella damage by default, unless he's suffering from withdrawal.
No, but he does way more when he's...
Actually, yeah, he does do way more when he's high. Joy. But if you're not popping pills from time to time, Brad will suffer withdrawal, and it'll just make him useless for that entire fight, basically.
Yeah. I also know that there's a run where if you don't take any joy, you get a different ending, and I fucked that up.
Oh, I most definitely did not take any. And that shit was rough.
I bet. And it's a game that I will replay for different things. Like, I'm not playing it in painful mode because I heard that you appreciate that more if you play it normal.
Painful is pretty fucked.
And like it changes things, so you won't notice those changes unless you played it normal first. So
yes, this game uses save points, and the deal with painful mode is you're allowed to use a save point once, and that is it. The default mode, they're basically campsites, and you're allowed to use
the shit out of that though.
Yeah, you can use the campsites whenever you want, but because it's a post-apocalyptic wasteland, some dude might come up and steal all your shit, or kidnap one of your party members and sell them into slavery, or just stab you in your sleep and you'll die. So like this game is mean, but it is mean in a very funny way.
Yeah,
at least it's a great game. I've been trying to get Robert to play it for years. Glad he's finally playing it. I'm gonna fuck him up next time I see Robert. It
deserves all its praise
because I know every single game I've recommended Robert, he'll feel this way about. And I don't
know. That's a high bar, bro.
I only recommend creme de la creme, bitch.
Like Lisa is. I mean,
hey, guess what? Tetris. There's a reason why I like SMT4 more than Lisa.
That's wild.
There's a reason why I consider Lisa, SMT4, and Persona 4 in my top 3 favorite RPGs of all time.
Well, I mean, I'll definitely finish Lisa, and like I said, it's probably a game I'll replay because it's so fucking fun.
When you do finish Lisa, run right into Lisa the Painful. Lisa the Painful is a standalone sequel DLC to Lisa.
You mean Lisa?
Or no, Lisa the Joyful is a standalone sequel DLC to Lisa the Painful RPG, which is what Robert is currently playing. Okay. And that DLC goes hard.
It does sound pretty fun.
Well, it looked technically I played 2 games, but looks like Stephanie, you just played one.
That one.
or did you play something else?
Nope, that's it for me.
I only played one game this month.
I know. Let me tell you.
Like, how busy are you?
Mm.
What do you do with your free time?
Stare at a wall.
These aren't rhetorical bits. Like, what the fuck do you do?
Just work, basically. Talk to Robert sometime.
We did beat Overcooked 2.
Oh, that's true. We already talked about that.
I played another fantastic game. It's a wonderful title, CS 490 Quest.
Fuck you.
And if it sounds like a weird title, it's because the CS stands for Computer Science, assumably Project 490. And this was a game that our very own navigator made himself with a team of people.
It was really just me and one other dude. The other two kind of shit the bed pretty hard.
What can I say about this game? It had purchased assets. The UI was there. You could talk to people. You could kill goblins. You leveled up. It had a busted little glitch where if you unequipped something and equipped it again, you gained all your health back.
Not in the recent build that you didn't play.
That's not I didn't play CS 490 Quest final build. I played CS 490 Quest. Short and sweet, took me less than an hour, probably less than 25 minutes. Saved a kingdom from goblins. I'm a hero.
Yeah, so I guess this is a good segue. So yeah, congrats, my final project's in, boys. We graduated. We did it. Only took 8 years and many cases of Coors Light later. Woo.
Congratulations!
Stephanie, how'd you feel about graduating? Were you stoked? Were you high on life?
Not the first time. Well, no, wait. The first time it was because it was like I don't know. I was like, oh, fudge, yeah. Like, I don't have to start my master's yet. My master's, though, sucked because I wasn't technically done when I graduated.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Like I graduated on Tuesday or finished up all my final projects on Tuesday, turned them all in, and I was like, cool. Don't care.
But it's a big thing. Also, too, Robert would probably agree, I would hope.
Nah, he doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah, fuck that. Like, if you like
What?
Tetris, then like, why even? I'm playing, obviously. Congratulations. It's been a long journey. I was there for some of it, and it was something, you know, playing League or COD next to you while you were stressed as fuck working on some homework that was due the day before, but your teacher was a fucking stupid bitch who wouldn't help you guys. Not naming which one, but
That's like most of them. I'm not gonna lie, bro. Like the
Like-
amount of times I've gone to a professor's office during their office hours and been like, "Hey, can you help me out with this thing?" And they're like, "No." And I was like, "Oh, like I guess I'll just go fuck myself."
but you didn't. You went and you Googled that shit, watched videos, you figured it out. And that counts for something, Jake. Congrats.
No, I was crawling at the end of this last quarter. I'm not gonna lie, bro. Like the fucks I could give ran out this quarter. Like I was crawling towards that fucking finish line.
It's the last quarter, so it's good that that's what
Like
you
if
want.
my homie Daniel wasn't as passionate about GPU programming as he was, and like carried our fucking assignments, I would be fucked. Straight up. Like CUDA programming is one of the hardest shit I've ever done in my life, and it can suck my ass. Like you only use that shit to mine Bitcoin anyway. Who cares?
I don't know what it is, so
Well, let me educate the audience here who cares so much. CUDA programming is a programming framework in C for NVIDIA graphics cards, which allows you to execute code on said NVIDIA graphics cards.
I have an NVIDIA graphics card.
Yes, so you have a computer that is compatible with CUDA programming. Congrats. The thing
Well,
about
mm.
graphics cards is they are excellent at matrix math and kind of suck at everything else. So they are very good at doing a lot of simple things at the same time. That is it. Welcome to my TED Talk. I graduated. That is why I'm
Okay.
drinking today.
And technically that is still the game that I was talking about, so I'll segue to
No,
Hey.
let's ask questions about the game that you played. This
Oh.
CS 490 quest. So what was like the core gameplay loop?
you walk
Like,
around
what-
and you kill
What did
goblins.
it sound like?
Sounded
How
like
how witty was the writing?
Oh, the writing, all the writing was kind of meh, except for like the
Fuck
king.
you.
Fun fact: the king is the only person Jake did not write the dialogue for. I mean, it was a game.
I mean, I'm not going to argue with you. We were trying to check off boxes. It's not like I was trying to make a good video game.
Like, it wasn't bad though. I think that's what matters. Like,
Well, see, to me, the only thing I've gotten out of this college experience that I've given a fuck about is I now have the experience required to be comfortable enough to do a game jam. And that is all I wanted out of university, and that is what I got at this point in time.
Yeah.
So look forward to all the shitty games I'll be making for game jams in the near future.
maybe we can send them to Stephanie too. She can try them out. Or wait, is that compatible with Mac?
I legit have no idea. Probably not.
Wait, you have a laptop too, right?
Yeah, I have both.
Damn. And don't worry, nothing Jake makes is gonna.
I don't know. These graphics are pretty intense, bro. Like you need a pretty beefed up graphics card to run my shit.
You can run that shit on my fridge. Like, don't worry.
I basically made RE5 remake myself.
I mean, I don't think RE5 needs a remake.
They're gonna do it anyway.
You think?
Yeah, why not? You wouldn't want to replay through RE5, but it plays like RE4 remake.
I mean, I feel like part of the beauty of RE5 was, fun fact, the first
But
person I
co-op.
played that with was Stephanie. And I remember that, I played Call of Duty and Halo. So I was like, oh, a game where you shoot a gun? Watch my skills. The shooting in Resident Evil 5 fucking sucks.
Nah, dude, it's great. I love it.
Zombies are coming at me and I'm missing every shot, and Stephanie's just like, yep.
Just because something's hard doesn't make it bad. That's why you don't like Tetris.
That was a long time ago, though. I don't think it needs a remake. Stephanie, did you have any questions about CS490 Quest?
I guess, was there anything that you noticed in the video game about Jake?
Something I noticed about Jake. For someone that has played Lisa, it would have been real easy to add some funny one-liners like they do in Lisa.
I'm driving over and punching you square in the cock.
I'm just saying that's one of the beauties of Lisa is that, like, you can walk up to someone and they can have just one line of dialogue and it's the funniest shit I've ever seen, and then you walk away and that was it. That was the experience. And
The writing was pretty mid. The graphics not that great. The music, shit. Gameplay, a little jank.
I walked up to a dude and he's like, "Oh, can't do shit now that there's these goblins roaming around. I sure hope someone does something about these goblins." I'm just saying, maybe you need a writer on your team. It'd be the move.
Bitch, you've been making games for years. Where the fuck you been at?
I've been writing.
Not for me, bitch.
Sounds like the beginning of a beautiful friendship.
If I don't stab you to death first.
So Jake,
if you want to know a self-criticism I have of myself listening to this podcast, just to give myself anxiety-induced nightmares.
what?
Is I'm like, damn, I come off so aggro on this podcast. Like last episode, I was listening to it, and me just asking Stephanie a normal question. I was like, why does this sound like a verbal assault? This episode is not helping my case.
So Jake, you finished Cyberpunk?
I did finish Cyberpunk, and goddamn, what a beautiful game. I played CD Projekt Red's Cyberpunk 2077, and this is one of the most immersive open world games I've ever played. Like when I booted up my PC and loaded into Night City, I was no longer Jake. I was gone.
I was
Deleted.
Hakobo.
I was V, Edge Runner, mercenary, all around badass with a chip on their shoulder. And I don't know what to say, man. Like Night City, it's just such a cool world to exist in. Like as somebody who likes the tabletop RPG that this game is based off of, they got so much right, and I'm so sad that game came out and just shit itself.
You're happy this happened?
No, I'm upset. Like if that game did not come out as busted as it did, I genuinely think Cyberpunk 2077 would have been Game of the Year for 2020.
Do you think that the anime had a big impact on how that game did? After
People actually went back and played it after the anime, myself included. Like I was halfway through it when the anime dropped, but like I finally just got around to finishing it now that I'm done with school. And yeah, the writing is clearly the star of the show here. Like the writing in Cyberpunk 2077 fucking rules. It takes everything about the tabletop RPG and gives it to the player in like digestible chunks. Like, there's so much weird world building shit, like chicken being illegal and a crime to like have, like all the like shitty food people eat, like the horrors of losing your job in Night City when you need a jaw replacement. So your jaw literally just falls off because it's a worn down, rusted piece of shit because you thought it would be cool to have a cool cyber jaw. And now you just have no way to get a new cyber jaw. So now you're just a homeless weirdo walking around with cybernetic eyes and no jaw. Like, I love this fucking game. I did all the side missions in this game, and I regret nothing. The soundtrack in this game, if you've watched Cyberpunk Edge Runners, it's the same soundtrack. Like, it goes hard, and you know it does.
Pretty good soundtrack.
The gameplay, I mean, I went for like a bruiser build, and I honestly think the game would have been more fun if you go for like a slick assassin build, because that's when you get the Sandevistan, which is a cybernetic upgrade in Cyberpunk Edge Runners that lets you slow down time. The like slick stealth builds are also how you get the mantis blades, which are like the like swords that pop out of your arms. And I mean, the gameplay's fun. Like, I played a bruiser hacker build. You know, I'd be gunning dudes down with my LMG, and then I'd run out of bullets. So then I would just whip out the shotgun, start going to town, and then I would see a dude like 100 meters away trying to take shots at me with a sniper rifle. So I would hack his cybernetic eyes to shut them down. And then while his eyeballs are literally sparking and fritzing, I would sprint up there as fast as I can, double jump onto the sniper's tower he's on, and then beat the shit out of them with a lead pipe. Fun game. Give it to your children. And like, the core theme of this game is like, Night City's a fucking shithole. This place sucks. You don't want to live in Night City. But like, if you're kind of born in Night City, or you came to Night City falsely looking for opportunity that wasn't there, you're just kind of stuck in Night City. So a lot of the people in Night City like glorify making it big and going down in a blaze of glory and riches and fame and just excess. And that's kind of a big thing in the game. Like, it was also a pretty big theme in the show too. Making it to the top and the cost of making it to the top. And then as soon as you get to the top, you look down and then start asking if it was worth it. And I like that theme can be reflected in the dialogue choices your character makes. Because as your character starts getting more famous, as they start getting more money, as they start getting richer, you could have the character who is like, fuck it, I'm on top. I'm going to be on top. I'm going to stay on top. I am rich and no one's going to fuck with me because I'm a badass. Or you got the character that like starts second guessing themselves. And then they're like, what am I doing? Was it worth it? I'm here at the top, but who gives a shit? Like, I'm still eating microwave burritos out of my shitty apartment. The only difference is my guns are more expensive. And I just like that this game like managed to nail the core themes of Cyberpunk 2077, like, or Cyberpunk Red, the RPG. Like, the corporate nightmare is reflected in so many side quests in this game. And also the side quests, I think this game is like not 100%ing worth doing, but all the side quests are so engaging and interesting in this game. Especially because this game doesn't have like Persona-esque social links, but it basically does have Persona-esque social links. Like, once you complete a character's quests, they'll always have one final quest that is just you two hanging out. And it kind of fucking rules.
It makes the characters feel more alive.
No, it really does. Like, you got this hard-boiled detective who's trying to fight police corruption, and it's a losing battle, and he's got a big chip on his shoulder, and then, you know, after everything's all said and done, he's just like, fuck it, man, I want you to come over. I want you to hang out with my niece and my nephew. Let's, I'll do a barbecue, and we'll play some video games, and then we'll just share a bottle of tequila on this water tower. And it is like a genuinely fun character moment. And you get a lot of those in this game. Like, the characters in Cyberpunk 2077 feel as interesting as the characters in Cyberpunk Edge Runners. And I think that rules. But yeah, man, I said my piece about this game. It's good. If you're the type of open world game fiend, like this is another one of those, but it's actually good.
Your rating?
I mean, the game is broken as fuck still after 3 years. Technically, the game's fucking busted. But, like, personally, I had so much fun with it that I'd give it, like, an 8 or a 9.
8 or a 9, okay.
Like, that soundtrack is so good that I'm still bumping it.
So, how's your hand doing?
Who?
How's your hand doing?
What did I do to my head?
Well, looks like you played a Hatsune Miku game.
Fuck you. So this is the transition. We're transitioning from Jake right back into Jake.
We've already talked about our video games, so you got the last video game on the docket.
Fine, we'll speedrun it. I got really high on NyQuil and played Hatsune Miku, and I had a lot of fun in between NyQuil daymares. So I went to Robert's house this month, got horribly fucking sick after coming back,
It wasn't my fault.
and I decided to try to sleep it off by taking NyQuil. But one, I did not realize I was doubling the portion of NyQuil. Two, I've also realized NyQuil does not put me to sleep. And I guess if you take too much NyQuil and don't fall asleep, shit gets a little wacky. It gets a little cheesy. It gets a little nutty. So to cope, I played a game called Project Diva F on the PlayStation 4. And I believe it's Future Tone? It might be Future Tone. Project Diva F, Future Tone, whatever. So this is basically a Hatsune Miku greatest hits, and Hatsune Miku Project Diva is a rhythm game that I just love and enjoy from my childhood. It's on PlayStation, so that there will be an X button, a circle button, triangle button, or square button that flies in from somewhere on screen, and once it connects with this little hollow X, triangle, circle, or X button, you press the button and you get the points, and it feels good. Fuck you want from me. It's a good game.
Yeah.
It's a good rhythm game. The songs are good. I get to dress up my Vocaloid dolls and then watch them dance in the music video while I'm playing the rhythm game. Stephanie, do you know what a Vocaloid is?
I do.
Okay, who's your favorite Vocaloid?
I wouldn't say that I have a favorite, if I'm being completely honest. I do like some of their songs, though, on the YouTubes.
Irrelevant. You got to answer who's your favorite Vocaloid right now for the podcast content.
For the podcast content, I will slide that over to Robert. There you go.
Robert's got an answer. I already know Robert's answer. I asked you, Stephanie.
Whoa, what's Robert's answer? Let's go there.
I don't actually know her name. No, I do. I do know her name because I made the mistake.
I'm about to see if you're a fraud right now.
I made the mistake of looking her up and brought someone else up.
Oh, I was gonna say there's gonna be a lot of porn.
There was, but not of her, of someone else. All right, what's her name, Jake? I forgot.
Are you fucking kidding me? Okay, well, let me throw some background in there for those not in the know. So, Project Diva F is specifically a rhythm game where all the songs are made by these characters called Vocaloids. And what a Vocaloid is like a text-to-speech program, but it's like a text-to-song vocals program. So you feed Hatsune Miku song lyrics and then give her the pitches and she'll sing a song for you. And each different kind of voice has their own name and personality and characteristics. And Robert's favorite is this one called Mako. And Mako's appeal is that she's like an old 90s Japanese pop star. So she's for the crusty old men out there who just
What Jake's saying is she is in her 30s instead of being a teenage girl.
Sweet baby Jesus.
Hey man, my favorite's Luca, and she's like 21 last I checked. She was drinking age, so we're good to go. And I think her songs fuck. Every single song she has in every Project Diva F game goes hard, and that is why Luca's my favorite. I also think she has some really cute outfits. What do you want from me? Her Luca Night Fever outfit, it's great. All right, Stephanie, what's your favorite Vocaloid? You better drop it right now.
I like her hair. Luca? It's nice. But, sorry, we still have so much more on the podcast.
Yeah, I know, we got to get to it. So what's your favorite Vocaloid, Stephanie?
We'll come back. Anyway.
So, Stephanie, I'm going to go take...
What's your rating? What's your rating?
10 out of 10, obviously. What the fuck? I've never played a bad Hatsune Miku game. All right, Stephanie, I'm going to go take a piss, and then you're going to figure out how you're going to want to start your segment on the movies you watched this month.
Oh, wait, am I going first?
Yeah,
Yes.
but we can wait till after you go to the bathroom that way.
Oh, okay.
Don't cut any of it. You just got to vamp for the next, 30 minutes.
Nah, because I also got to go to the bathroom.
Motherfucker.
I had a huge energy drink. Stephanie, yeah. Are you there?
I'm here.
Do you just not know who the Vocaloids are?
No, I do. I really like I like her hair too. And I like her color scheme.
It'll be our secret, don't worry. Jake doesn't have to know. Puts it in the podcast.
I'm already ready for it.
All right, boys, I'm back.
So I watched a lot of different movies this last month. And I'm sorry I did watch new movies, but I think that they can still tie to old movies. So we're going to start with a movie that I didn't totally love, but it was interesting nonetheless. So ended up watching Cocaine Bear. Have you all heard of it?
I've heard of
I
it.
have been excited for this movie. So please tell me how good it is.
Oh, well, ooh, I don't. I was not excited for this movie, if I'm being completely honest.
I'm fucking shocked.
But basically, for people who don't know, it literally is just the title. It is a bear on cocaine, and this was inspired by true events, I guess, but it definitely is not like it all happens in the movie. I guess the main characters are a mom and her kids. Uh, one of her kids decides that she really wants to go see this waterfall, and this waterfall also happens to be like in this national park, and she has to go and find her kids while this bear is on cocaine.
How many people die?
In the movie?
Yeah.
Wait, can I say that? Is that a spoiler?
Who gives a shit?
I think, yeah, for this movie,
Like,
I don't
honestly?
think people are going to be.
It's not like this shit was like the top of my list for 2023. Like Ant-Man 3 might have been higher, and I don't even like that fucking movie, dude. Like,
That's totally fair. Yeah. So I think probably in the movie about 8 people die, and none of them, like some of them know each other and some of them don't. There are just like so many different things happening all at once. Like there's also a drug deal going on. There's also just like some fucking teenagers being teenagers. And then of course, right, then you have like the main storyline, I guess, which is the mom and her kids. And the way that people die is just kind of a little bonkers. Like you would all think, right? Like they all die by the bear. That is not the case. So, yeah.
if you're about to tell me this is some like Tucker and Dale versus evil shit, I'm even more excited for this movie.
Like yes and
Like,
no.
if the bear is not a problem, and the problem is that just people are fucking stupid, that's great. I'm down.
Well, the bear is a problem, but I guess not as much of a problem. Like, I'll just explain like one scene. Like, there is a point where the bear gets to like where the ranger's office is, and I guess these teenagers were out, and of course, right, like the main ranger, she ends up being like, open the door to one of the teenagers, and she fires her gun, and she completely misses the bear, and she kills one of the kids. So it was
Nice!
just like,
Love child
what?
murder.
It was just kind of bananas where I was like, wow, this legitimately just happened. Also, too, again, probably wouldn't take your kids to see it. This happens like in the first like 20 minutes, but there are kids doing cocaine. So that's
Teach
also
kids
a
how to do
thing that
cocaine. You heard
happens.
it here first.
The movie's called Cocaine Bear. I think you can expect cocaine to be in the movie.
Well, here's the funny part, no adults do cocaine. Well, I'll put that in quotation marks.
I was really hoping that story ended with, and then the bear grabbed the gun.
Nope, but that is Cocaine Bear.
Okay,
Like-
well, I was looking forward to a romp, so please tell me that it is.
How much were you looking forward to that?
Okay, so if Robert and I are sitting on the couch and we rented this movie, and we both have like a 6-pack of White Claws, how much fun are we gonna have?
You'll have fun a little bit. I wouldn't say like the funnest time, but still a good time. How about that?
There's not a whole lot of confidence here.
She's like, you guys will enjoy the White Claw in your guys' company.
Pretty much. And like the jokes that you can make during it. But I guess I don't know. Like there are jokes that they say in it, and there are like some good ones, but some of them are just they just ain't it.
Is it trying to be a serious movie?
No, it's not. I guess
Okay.
that's also a good point. So yeah.
I mean, does it have tonal whiplash? Like, what was that movie? Was it Claws? The Christmas horror movie?
I have
No.
never seen it.
I was
so.
about to say I think that one's done better.
Wow, that movie fucking sucked!
Yeah. At least with like again, we're gonna go back to the writing. I was like really shocked that this movie got like a 70, I think. Or is it 60? 60 or 70, but that's still like really high. But have you all seen Jaws?
I
I'm
mean,
not gonna lie, I haven't. I've never seen Jaws.
what the fuck?
How have you never seen
Actually,
Jaws?
to be fair, I haven't seen Jaws all the way through, but I've seen enough of Jaws.
What?
I was
Oh.
like 10
Yeah, that's fair.
and terrified of sharks. What do you want from me? My mom was like, "Hey, let's take a family trip to the ocean." And I was like, "Fuck that."
Yeah, that's fair, honestly. But I guess it's like that, right? Like Jaws was like a huge thing, and I think they tried to take that same thing with like having an apex predator just on the loose, which it like makes sense, but I guess it wasn't.
So it's about as good as any Spielberg movie. Got it.
Whoa. I was about to say out of your mouth, not mine, but that's Cocaine Bear.
So what would you rate it?
Me personally, I would probably say like a 5.5
Out
So
of
like
5.
a mid
out
out
of
of 10.
10.
Got it.
Pretty much. Like it wasn't the worst thing that I could have watched, I guess, but it definitely wasn't the best thing. And there were just a lot of just weird shit that would happen throughout the movie. So, yeah. All right then. Well,
It's got it.
Robert, what did you watch?
I watched a couple of movies. I was disappointed by some, and I was pleasantly surprised by some. The first one I'll talk about is The Whale, which is the movie you recommended 2 episodes ago, I think.
This is
On the
true.
first episode. The Whale is, well, the synopsis for it is a reclusive, morbidly obese English teacher attempts to reconnect with his daughter.
So most of them.
It is, and it is that, but it's also so much more. There's a lot of things I like about this movie. There's one huge thing I don't like about this movie. Brendan Fraser does amazing in this movie. Obviously, I think everyone and their mom has sung his praises, and they are deserved. As are the other actors and actresses in this movie. I think everyone did a fantastic job. Everyone feels real in this movie. Like none of these characters feel synthetic. And I know that that might seem like a weird thing to say, but I just really believed every character acted the way a real human would react in a lot of situations they were put into. Because it'd be very easy to make a movie like this because you're tackling some topics, and it would be really easy to try and, like, for a lack of a better term, Oscar bait, try and have some really emotional, cheesy scenes to get you to feel. And they don't. They just, like I said, I think they tackle it really well. I can't say too much without getting into spoilers, but fuck it. I'll say this part because I feel like it's obvious right
I
off
mean,
the bat at
you
the beginning of
spoil
the
this movie
movie.
for me, I'm gonna punch you in the cock, bro.
So
Brendan Fraser is my childhood hero, bro. He was like my Hulk Hogan.
maybe I shouldn't drop that spoiler. There's a pretty
All right,
obvious thing. There's a pretty obvious thing that's set at the beginning of the movie, and everyone knows this thing, and that's what the whole movie's about. And so Brendan Fraser is trying to reconnect with his daughter that he hasn't talked to in forever, and his daughter seems to be just kind of using him for money. Like he wants to hang out with her, she doesn't give a shit about him, and so he's like, "I'll pay you. I'll pay you to hang out with me."
Also, too, though, she has a lot of good reasons not to hang out with him. But anyway,
Okay, I was about to say can't relate, and then you drop that shit.
Well, I mean, like I said, he hasn't seen her in forever, and it was his choice. So,
Okay, maybe can't relate. I was gonna be like, damn, bro, I'll drop somebody spend time with me. I'll pay for the fucking movie, but no.
and
Don't
it,
laugh. What the fuck?
no,
I
no.
said, "Oh, dang!" Like, whoa.
I'm
So
busy. All right. Having friends is hard when you're in school.
this movie tackles topics like obesity, health, homosexuality, religion.
Ooh.
Like it tackles heavy subject matter, and they don't back down on any of those. Like they don't sugarcoat it, they don't walk around it. And so that's why I'm a little disappointed with the ending because I feel like at the end they do something I didn't like. And I won't spoil it, but I think the movie would have done a lot better if they just hadn't ended it the way they ended it. But it's a great movie, and even with that ending, I give it an 8.5 out of 10.
So good movie. You think the ending falls a little bit flat?
Yes.
Well, it's got Brendan Fraser in it, dog. I'm sold.
Brendan Fraser
Bro, he's so
is
fucking hot.
acting the shit out of
Yeah, I was about to say that too.
acting in this movie.
Uh huh.
Like he is acting, all right? Like
Is his acting as good as it is in The Mummy 1, 2, or 3?
it's better.
I don't believe you.
It is
Well,
better. Mm-hmm.
I don't, bruh. You shit on my childhood.
I'm not shitting on it. I think his acting in The Mummy is fantastic. I just think it's better here.
Same.
All right, fair enough. I do have a lot of, like, I don't have nostalgia for a lot of things in my life, but The Mummy is one of those things because it's like one of the few movies that like me, my mom, my dad, and my sister liked. So we would just watch that shit on repeat all the time. We wore that
Classic.
VHS tape the fuck out, bro.
Have you watched the new The Mummy?
Bruh, if it doesn't have Brendan Fraser in it, I don't give a fuck.
Okay, cool. I haven't either.
I don't know, it sounds like a good watch. Like,
I do
it's
recommend
legit
it.
just about Brendan Fraser trying to reconnect with his daughter, and he kind of fucked that up.
Yes.
Noted. So it's gonna be one of
And
those sad movies.
it's just about his relationship with the people around him and how that happens.
One of those sad movies.
You know, I was watching it waiting for the sad to happen, and I was like, wow, this movie isn't like, it's sad, but it's not the sad I thought. Like, I thought I was going to be crying.
So it's not
Instead,
like it's not like sad. It's just like raw.
and then it's just sad, like sad to watch, hard to watch at times. And then I was crying, and I was like, oh, okay. All right. You got me.
Oh, like when I was playing Tetris. Got it.
Jake, what did you watch this month?
Bitch, I only watched one movie, and that was yesterday in a frenzied panic because I was like, damn, I didn't do shit this month because I was doing finals. Stephanie, you got a bunch of movies. What else did you watch other than Cocaine Bear?
Oh, geez. Okay. Well, here we are. Okay.
Passing the ball.
So I ended up watching Prisoners. I think Robert's watched this movie as well. But it
I have
has
watched Prisoners.
Hugh Jackman and Jake Gyllenhaal. And it's basically a movie about a lot of different things. Okay, wait. For this one, we're not spoiling it, right?
Nah, but you can like read a synopsis.
Read a synopsis of Prisoners.
Talk as much about the movie as you can without spoiling it, as I feel like is the rule.
Well, my synopsis, I mean, just like the tagline for it.
I guess there are parents who are looking for their missing children.
Are they gay?
No, it's two sets of parents. They just
Okay, I was about to be like, damn, that is a fucking spicy couple. God damn.
See, I forgot.
I was about to be like, I'm down, dude.
Oops.
I forgot she said Jake Gyllenhaal and Hugh Jackman, and just in the context of the movie, I was like,
Wait,
"What
yeah.
makes you like?" She just said parents missing children, and you're
Wolverine
like,
and
"Are they gay?"
Mysterio, bro, fucking it up.
Oh shit. Okay, sorry. Jake Gyllenhaal is the detective. Hugh Jackman is one of the parents.
Okay, I'm slightly more
You're just like,
disappointed.
let me tell you. Jeez. And Robert said you couldn't be a writer, Jake. Damn. Let me tell you.
They're hot. Everybody wants to see them make out. Would you not?
I mean, it would be interesting.
What's a movie cost nowadays? Like $17? I think that's how much I paid for Ant-Man. Yeah, I'd rather give my $17 to see Jake Gyllenhaal and Hugh Jackman make out.
It's fair. But that's basically what the movie is about. Well, there are
Them
just a
making
lot
out?
of things.
No, what the fuck?
About
You gotta
the
provide
kids
some
going
context
missing.
here, bro.
The kid's going missing, my bad.
Okay.
And so basically it is just like really just fucked up. And I don't know, me and Robert got into a conversation about this, but we can't say the conversation, right?
Okay, so because I think you can say this enough this much. Jake Gyllenhaal is a detective. Hugh Jackman is one of the parents, and Hugh Jackman is like, "Yo, you hurt my kids. I'll do anything and everything to get them back safe. And if I can't get them back safe, I'm gonna hurt you." Jake Gyllenhaal is doing his job as a cop, and he picks someone up that he thinks is a suspect. But there's no evidence that he took part in it, so they let him go. And then Hugh Jackman is like, I gotta do it myself. And that's the premise of the movie.
Okay, so I guess the premise is like the definition of justice and what it means to separate people.
Good, yeah. I was about to say there's like another storyline that's also going on in the background as well. So it's just wild.
There is, yeah, but that's the basic gist of like that's the main setup.
I'm
and
assuming
then, like, movie
Hugh
starts.
Jackman's smoldering and hot the whole time while he's going on his rampage. Or is this like some Australia shit where he's just like acting real hard?
What does that mean, Jake? Some Australia shit.
The movie Australia with Hugh Jackman,
Oh, I haven't
where
seen
he's
it.
acting his dick off.
Oh my word.
I haven't seen Australia.
Me neither, but I saw the clips and I'm like, God damn.
I was
Like,
supposed to go watch
He can do
that.
things other than superhero movies and be good at them too.
I was supposed to go watch that when I went and was a third wheel on one of your sister's dates.
Oh,
What
And
boyfriend was it?
that doesn't matter.
Was it not one of the three that I know?
Actually, hold on. I will tell you one thing. So we were supposed to go watch Australia, and that looked like a romantic movie.
It is.
I didn't want to be a third wheel for that.
It's
So
a
I was like,
romantic movie about World War II.
trust me, the story gets better. So I was like, nah, let's not watch that. I was like, let's watch and I looked and tried to see anything else that was playing at the time. And that movie was The Boy in Striped Pajamas.
Yes!
Sweet.
And you know which boyfriend it was? It was the Jewish one.
Yes!
And so that's what we watched instead. This happened a long time
What are
ago.
we doing?
You're the best
What's
wingman.
happening?
Oh, yeah. Good times. Anyway, carry on. Stephanie, you were about to say whether he was smoldering and hot or out of some Australia shit.
Robert, I feel like you could answer that question more than me because I feel like we saw the scenes in that movie a little bit differently.
You're not into Hugh Jackman?
I mean,
His
I
last name
think
is literally Jacked Man. Like,
that's a very good
it's all
point,
in the title.
But also, I guess the things that Hugh Jackman does in the movie, I don't know if I'd necessarily say that's a turn on, but for some people, maybe that would be. This is where Robert comes in.
He gets his hands dirty.
Oh, you bet he does.
And Jake Gyllenhaal's like, hey, bud, there's a right way to do this.
And
Hugh
then there's
Jackman's
the
like,
righter way to do this.
and Hugh Jackman's like, yeah, and then there's my way. I think that's pretty much all we can say without spoiling anything.
I get the
But
gist.
yeah, and if you like true crime, I'll say, then like this is right up your alley. If you like cat and mouse, this is it. Like it's pretty good. Paul Dano's in it, and he's amazing as always.
I'll throw it on the backlog and then talk about it 3 years from now.
Sounds good.
Full circle.
I was about to say, I feel like Robert just needs to send you like the middle of that movie, just that one scene. Oh man. But anyway, so then Robert, have you watched anything else? Movies? Things?
I did watch something that was deep in the backlog. I watched The Devil Wears Prada.
What the fuck?
I'd never watched it.
Oh.
I mean, same, but like,
I love Anne Hathaway. And I didn't know anything about this movie except there's an episode of The Office where Michael keeps blurting out one-liners from the movie, and everyone's like, yep, he finally watched it. And I was like, all right, I'll finally watch it. This movie, I'll give the synopsis for it as well. It's very basic. It's a smart but sensible new graduate lands a job as an assistant to Miranda Priestley, the demanding editor-in-chief of a high fashion magazine. And yeah, that's basically what it is. Anne Hathaway is just looking for a job as an editor or a writer for a magazine.
Feel it, bud.
And she gets thrown this interview, and it's all about fashion. I forgot what Rundown, I think is what it's called. Runway might be
Runway? Like a fashion runway?
the name of the magazine. I don't remember what it is. She gets an interview there. She knows nothing about fashion. Off the bat, you can tell the movie's trying to paint her as the whole, what's that movie that she was in? Princess Diaries.
She in 13 going on 30, or am I thinking of somebody else?
That's someone else.
God damn it.
Or wait.
Was it?
No.
No. Looking this shit up.
No, it's not her. It's the other one.
Isn't that Jessica? No, it's
The other white girl.
It's not Anne Hathaway, all right? Well, all I'm saying is, like, they always do that with Anne Hathaway. They're like, oh, she's the not pretty girl when she's obviously beautiful. And I'm like, okay. But she's underdressed, doesn't fit in, gets the job anyway, and learns how to get to the top from not knowing anything about fashion. I enjoyed it. I had a good time watching the whole thing. I also didn't like the ending of this movie. There's a point in time where something happens, and I thought, wow, this movie's going to end right here. And I get it. I get why people talk about this movie. This is something. And then the movie keeps going and fixes all the problems that were there and gives you a happily ever after, which I didn't think was deserved. The whole point of the movie is she becomes the thing she hates, and she kind of is a bitch. And then at the moment of the climax, when she realizes consequences of her actions, she just goes like, I'll apologize and everything's better. That's it. That's the end of the movie.
Well, sometimes all you need to do is say you're sorry, Robert. What's wrong with that moral? What's wrong with that theme?
That it's a movie about the cutthroat business of fashion industry.
Then go watch American Psycho or Wolf of Wall Street. All I'm saying is my favorite Anne Hathaway movie is Ella Enchanted.
Pretty good one.
I do fuck with that movie. Stephanie, what's your favorite Anne Hathaway movie?
I would probably say The Devil's Worst.
Are you fucking kidding me?
I mean, okay, it's not a bad movie at all, and it's really good. And I'm judging it way more harshly just because I've seen it's been a long time since 2006.
It's only been like 40 years.
There are better movies. There are better ways to tell that story now. But for the time, it was told really well, and I really enjoyed it. I give it a 7 out of 10. My favorite Anne Hathaway movie, probably Interstellar.
It's not The Dark Knight Rises.
See, I don't want to say that because then it's obvious why I like that movie. Why I like her in that movie.
Yeah, you just want to see Anne Hathaway in BDSM gear. It's fine.
Nah.
Jesus.
Like, it's okay.
Interstellar.
We don't kink shame on this podcast, Robert.
All right, fine. It's Get Smart then. Fine.
Oh, shit.
For the same reasons.
For the same reason.
Anyway, since you only watched one movie, Jake, Stephanie, what's another movie you watched?
All right. So another movie. Oh wait, did you have anything else to say though about The Devil's Wears Prada? Sorry, I don't know why I said that weird.
7 out of 10. Oh, you know what? I will say Meryl Streep's performance obviously steals the show. Like she
Hot
is
as fuck.
She
Hottest
is
person in that movie.
Hey, she is hot as fuck in that movie.
Smoke show.
Like she is a bad bitch and she knows it and everyone knows it and
I know it.
like she killed it in that movie. Absolutely. Like and that movie has a pretty sure his name's Stanley Tucci. Is that how you pronounce that?
Tucci?
Stanley.
Sorry, could you repeat that? Me Tucci?
That's what I said.
No, you didn't.
I said Tucci.
I know Stanley Tucci.
Yeah, I did not say Coochie.
I like that actor, and he is indeed in The Devil Wears Prada. That is not what you said.
That is
I
not
said
what you said.
Tucci.
He was in that really bad movie with the deaf daughter. Yeah, I know. I know who Stanley Tucci is.
Yeah, and that's what I said.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did. Okay, whatever.
Rewind the tape.
Tucci?
When you edit it, oh my gosh.
I know.
Robert edits this shit like next week. He's gonna be looking at it. He's like, "Oh damn, I said coochie. Fuck."
I said Tucci. I know I did.
Oh.
You're gonna hear it. I'm like, I think it's pronounced.
What if it's like 2C? We're just fucking stupid.
It might be 2C, but I think it's Tucci. Yeah, no, he's in the movie too, and he steals the show every time, and he does do amazing in this movie. Like when he's on screen, it's great. But Meryl Streep just
the dude's like fucking ageless.
He is.
It's true.
Like I don't know if it's like in the good way because that man's like looked like 45 his whole life, but he looks like
but he's 62.
But he's like got his shit together.
He does. But yeah, fantastic performances. And like I said, I'm still giving it a 7 out of 10 this late in the game, so solid.
Yo, did you know he was in a Captain America? What the fuck?
Yeah, actually.
Who does he play?
I think he's one of the. Fuck. Is it the second one?
It's the first one.
Oh, then he's probably one of the Red Skull's motherfuckers.
What?
Like one of Red Skull's like henchmen or scientists or something.
Dr. Abraham Erskine.
Yeah, he's probably the guy that helped Red Skull, you know.
No, he was the doctor who gave Captain America his juice.
Oh, well, there you go. That's how much I know Marvel.
Yeah, I guess. God, he looks old as fuck in this movie, though. That's why I didn't recognize him.
So, 7 out of 10. Stephanie, what do you got for us?
All right. So, the next movie I watched, which is a backlog one, is going to be Young Promising Women. And this movie fucked me up just a little bit. Have you all heard of it? Maybe not.
No, I'm not in the know on this shit.
Yeah, I don't know anything about it.
Well, it actually got pretty good ratings, and it's just kind of really fucked up. So it's basically about a med school dropout and basically trying to get revenge for her friend that had like this really fucked up thing happen to her in med school. And I guess there were a lot of people that knew about it, but they never talked about what happened. And her friend ends up killing herself because of it. And so basically, I don't know, I'll just like paint the scene kind of for both of you. So, with this movie, right? Now think about your own life. Let's say that you're going to a bar. Choose whatever bar you like. And all of a sudden, right? Doesn't matter who you see there, but you see a really attractive person just chilling, right? Minding their own business.
I'm in Spokane. That doesn't happen here.
Oh, shit. Well, today's the day. Today's the day that it happens. And all of a sudden, though, you see this really attractive person, but you notice that they are too drunk. Like, they are just spilling everything everywhere. Like, it looks like almost to the point that they have been roofied, but the person is just by themselves. What do you all do?
Tell the bartender, yo, I think she needs to be cut off.
Yeah, to be honest with you, that's just like people that fucked up in this town is such a common occurrence that I just kind of mind my own fucking business.
That's fair. And you know what? That probably should kind of be what you all do. But in this movie, it kind of shows you, I guess, like what men will kind of take advantage. And it is only men, unfortunately, that are portrayed in this movie, taking home a girl that is to be perceived very drunk and out of her wits. And basically, she'll go back home with them. She will, again, right, still be very drunk, still be very not all right. And when they try to do something, in any sexual manner, or also to trying to move on to the next base, she will say no, but also too, right? Still in this drunken manner. And then when they don't stop, that's where she completely sobers up and she lets them know. And this isn't like a huge thing that I'm like spoiling because it happens like in the first 20 minutes of the movie that you find this out. So basically, this girl is going to people's places with these men that take her home, trying to basically take advantage of her. And she just kind of ruins their night. Also, too, it changes the way that they behave with women in the future.
Hashtag
Again,
girl boss.
So she's Chris Hansening them.
Pretty much.
Pretty much, yeah. And also, too, it'll just be like bananas because then you'll hear, like, basically, right, with any of these things that you've heard, like, on a college campus, like, their excuses. And it's just, like, so wild to kind of hear.
All right, hold up. Is this a documentary?
No, it's not.
Okay, I thought you were about to tell me this is like
This is real life.
Yeah, I thought you were about to tell me this is like a mockumentary or not a mockumentary, but like an expose movie or video. And I was about to lose my shit because that would
No.
be fucking insane if they somehow hid the camera guy.
Yeah.
Like,
Like, whoa.
how did they get that guy in the house, bro?
Man, yeah, let me tell you. It was just like wild to see. And like I said, throughout the whole movie, because that's just in the first 20 minutes, there is, of course, like another underlying plot. And it's just so messed up. So messed up to think about society as a whole. Like, ugh. But it is a good movie. There's a lot of unexpected stuff that happens.
We
Yeah, I
really
thought
do
you
live
were-
in a society.
I thought you were gonna say like, and then as soon as like they keep trying, she just fucking murders them.
Fuck.
Like I fully expected this to be like that
Isn't
kind
that
of deal.
Like plot of Teeth.
Yes and no. Not at the beginning. It's fucked up. Let's not talk about teeth.
It is fucked up. I guess also too, like I said, it's just something that she does to cope with what happened to her friend. So again, like you see these things happening, but it's not the main point. It's just kind of bananas.
That's just the subplot.
Yeah, basically.
That's
Something
wild.
she does in her free time.
You gotta have hobbies, bro.
Like this
Very
is a
true.
side quest in the main quest of this movie.
This isn't a side
Yeah.
quest. This is an excursion.
Literally. She has like a whole notebook and you see like in the movie like how many times she's like actually done this to a dude and oh my gosh, it's just wild.
Okay, well that does sound brave. This also sounds like a really good way to get yourself in a really bad fucking spot.
It's very true. Very true.
Okay, I lied. I do know one thing about this movie, and it is the cast. And I know that Bo Burnham is in this movie. Please tell me Bo Burnham is not one of these dudes.
Why? He'd be great at it.
Ooh.
I guess I'll have to watch this movie.
You'll have to watch the movie. Let me tell you. He's not the worst, but I guess it just depends on how you. We had a conversation about this. So, anyway.
Yeah. Well, what do you rate it? Or do you have something else to say about it?
No, I would rate it an 8. Like, again, a lot of it did seem like very Hollywoody, right? Like, Jake really brought up a really good point. Like, yeah, she's doing this stuff, but it could lead to a really bad situation. I think it just, like, shows how kind of, like, messed up, for one, college is. Congratulations, Jake, on graduating again. And And also too, just like how these things, right, can just escalate for anybody. And how our traumas like still stay there. It's just jeez. But it was a good movie though.
All right. See, we each only got one movie to talk about, so I guess Jake, you can go ahead and go.
This is gonna get me put on blast, like blast. So let me go grab my soda, like it's my final cigarette before I'm executed by a firing squad, and
I'm
I'll be right
excited.
back.
What can he possibly have watched?
I know. What no, okay, wait, are we talking about TV shows?
No, we're still on movies because
Okay, I got my Walmart brand Diet Cola because I have not drank all week and I am kind of fucked up. So working on that right now. We all here?
we're all here.
All here. Okay. So let's get it on. So for perspective, I finished all of my final projects 3 days ago. So I was fucking busy this month. I was doing shit. And in an enlightened panic yesterday, I was like, I have free time. My list is a little light. I'm either going to have to put something on my list to talk about for the podcast or extend the Hatsune Miku talk for a really long time. So I grab my cat, I grab my blanket, I grab my PS5 controller, and I hop on the couch and I start browsing Tubi, my favorite streaming service. And
Only
I'm going
$5.99 a month.
it's
Not
free.
sponsored.
It's free.
Oh,
Fuck
is
you.
it free?
It's free. That's why it's my favorite. It's free.
Even better.
So I'm scrolling through Tubi, and then they're like, hey, leaving Tubi soon. And I was like, damn, okay, I'll check some of these out before they go away. And I was like, you know what? There's that classic. That classic that everybody loves that I haven't seen. Time to see what all the hype's about. And it's fitting, considering I've looked at other people's lists. So I throw on Rocky 1.
Oh my gosh.
We're about to fight, aren't we?
And yeah, bro, I've watched Rocky. Y'all holding with bated breath?
We're waiting.
I fucking hate the first half of this movie.
Which
The
half?
first half of Rocky 1 is the most uncomfortable I've been watching a movie in a long time. Robert, do you remember what happens in the first half of Rocky?
Bro, all those movies are a mix. It's been so long.
I watched this shit yesterday. It is fresh off the dome.
What happens in the first half?
The first half of Rocky is a horror movie about a woman named Adrian trapped in a world where she can get no peace. She's a shy, mouse-esque woman who works in a pet shop. And every day, every morning, this muscle-bound mafioso comes into her work and tries to talk to her. He constantly tells unfunny jokes. He keeps laying all of his problems at her feet, and she says nothing the entire time until he finally leaves. And then he goes about his day, and then as she's closing up the pet shop, he always comes back right before closing to bother her again. But okay, she's being harassed a little bit, it's fine. But turns out this dude that is constantly harassing her is friends with her brother, who she lives with. And her brother really wants to get in good with the mob that the dude who's harassing her works with. So he's trying to set up his sister with this mafioso dude so that he's got an in with the Philadelphia Mafia. So he pulls him aside one day and he's like, hey man, you interested in my sister? And the other guy's like, yeah man, of course I'm interested in your sister. Try talking to her every day, but she's just real shy. She doesn't want anything to do with me. I don't know what to do. And he's like, check it. I got you. Tomorrow's Thanksgiving. Come to my house. We'll eat some bird. We'll hang out. You'll get to know my sister a little better. What do you say? And he's like, you know what? Sounds like a plan, man. I'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow comes. It is Thanksgiving. Adrian is cooking Thanksgiving dinner. And then the man who bothers her every morning shows up at her house. And she's like, how the fuck does this guy know where I live? And then her brother is like, hey, this is my friend. I want you two to get out of the house, go out, and have a nice date. And she's like, what the fuck are you talking about? It is Thanksgiving. I have been cooking Thanksgiving dinner all day. I have a turkey in the oven. And the brother, getting upset, walks into the kitchen, flings open the oven door, grabs the turkey in the oven, opens the back door and yeets this turkey into the back alley. And he says, "Not anymore. You two are going on a date." And then she gets upset and she goes into her room and shuts the door. And after several minutes of coercing and smooth talking, the man that bothers her every day at her work talks to her through her door, and she decides to come out and go on the date because she has nothing to do now. Thanksgiving dinner is ruined. So she grabs her hat, she grabs her coat, and then she goes on this date, and they go roller skating for literally 10 minutes, or not roller skating, ice skating for literally 10 minutes because they're about to close. And they have an okay time. Ice skating is her favorite thing to do. You know, this guy only likes to talk about fighting and, how he's not that smart. So, he's got to fight. And she's like, yeah, okay. Sure. I guess it was nice of him to take me ice skating. And that's that. They're walking home in Philadelphia at night, which is, by the way, the shittiest looking city I think I've ever seen in a movie is 1970s Philadelphia. This looks like the most dangerous urban area I have seen in a movie. They're walking home. The man stops in front of his apartment and he's like, "Hey, this is my apartment. Why don't we go inside?" And then she says, "Nah, I really got to go." And he's like, "No, come on. Let's go inside my place." And she's like, no, I really have to go. My brother would be worried. And he's like, "No, come on. And then after several minutes of this, she finally is pressured to go inside his apartment. And she enters his apartment, and it is fucking filthy. There is mold on the front door as she enters. The entire place has knives stabbed into the walls that he uses as a coat rack. There is a beat up and cut mattress laid up against the wall that looks like he's been using as a punching bag. He sits down on the couch and he's like, "Hey, why don't you come over here, sit down with me for a little bit?" And then he scooches the beer bottles and old newspapers aside to give her a place to sit. And then she's like, and I quote, "I don't know you that well. I am uncomfortable. I really have to go." And the man stands up and puts his hand on the door so she can't leave and says, "Come on, don't you like my place? Isn't it a nice place?" And then after multiple times of her saying she needs to go, he leans in real close to her and says, "I'm going to kiss you. I really want to kiss you. You don't have to kiss me back." And then he leans in and gives her an unreciprocated kiss. And in the pressure of the moment, they start making out on the floor of his disgusting, awful apartment. And that's the first half of Rocky.
Jake, I feel like you should have your own separate podcast for women to not go into people's houses with all of this. Women or men or everybody, honestly.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I've brought it full circle, bro. This movie is fucking horrifying for the first 50%. Oh my fucking God. I literally sat on the couch with my mouth open and my hand on my forehead for the first 40 minutes of this film. It made me so uncomfortable.
Oh no.
See, I don't remember any of that.
Me neither. Honestly.
That's just how they did it in the 70s, bro.
And I just gotta say, when you're describing his house, I know it was meant to be horrifying, but it was actually really fucking funny that this guy thinks that this is okay.
No, it's supposed to be funny. Not even. It's supposed to be funny, Robert. The problem is it's not.
See, my thing is, do you think someone wrote this at the time knowing it wasn't funny?
Yes. No. Sylvester Stallone wrote it at the time thinking it was endearing. He thought it made Rocky look sensitive and open. And he wanted to let this woman know everything about him and share his life with her, which is why he comes to her work every day, twice a day, and lays all of his problems on her. That is not the way it comes off in a modern context, Robert.
No, but what I'm saying is if she's acting very uncomfortable, then someone had to have had the conversation of, "Oh, you don't want this. Play it like you're scared."
She's supposed to come off as shy. That is not what happens at all. She comes off as terrified, bro.
Look, man, I usually skip this part, okay? I just go to the
hey, motherfucker.
Why don't we just,
Bro, it is so fucking uncomfortable. Like
That's
there's a scene where Rocky grabs a kid off the street because she's hanging out with a bunch of dudes late at night, and she's like, "You know what? You hang around with all those dudes late at night. You know what's gonna ruin your rep? People are gonna think that you're a whore. You don't want to be a whore now, do you?" And she's like, "Fuck you," and then she goes home. And he's like, "You know what? Fuck me. What do I do? You know, just some 30-year-old loser giving advice." I'm like, "Yes, Rocky, you are a 30-year-old loser giving some random 12-year-old advice on how to live their life. You literally work for a fucking mobster. You make money beating people up who couldn't pay back their fucking loans to a loan shark. You shouldn't be giving anybody life advice."
I'm gonna need to rewatch Rocky.
Also, this first fight, the movie opens up on a fight that Rocky is having with, I think it's Rico the Spider. Some of the shittiest boxing choreography I've ever seen in my fucking life. And you know, to be fair, it's supposed to be that way, but Rocky, like, this is probably where Paddy Pimblett learned how to fight. Because Rocky blocks with his fucking face. His hands are at his waist, and he's just taking bombs to the goddamn chin. And I'm like, put your fucking hands up, dude. Show some actual boxing technique. Fuck me.
Well, do you want to talk about the second half of the movie?
Yeah, it's pretty good. What? Like, it's not bad. It's pretty good. What do you want from me?
Nothing, man. Like, now I just like am questioning everything. It's
Like,
fine.
when Rocky gets his shot at the title, due through sheer happenstance, that's when the movie actually gets good. Because, like, the first half of this movie, I was like, bro, what the fuck do people like about this movie? Oh my god, I am so uncomfortable right now. Like, the amount of times I physically cringed at this movie hurt me. Like, I screamed while watching this movie by myself on the couch, dude. It was real bad. And then the second half of this movie happens, and it's fucking iconic. Like, straight up.
See, that's what I remember.
And I get it. Yeah, but you know, that's the part that lives in your head rent free. Not the part where Adrian says, "I'm uncomfortable. I don't know you that well. I need to go home." That is the part of this movie that lives in my head rent free. And it still bothers me. Like, goddamn, bro.
But honey, it's cold outside.
Literally, dude.
Oh man. Well, I mean, also too, you all have seen Creed. She's not in Creed.
No, I haven't.
He okay.
This is
Jake
my
has it.
first movie in the Rocky franchise.
He is in Creed. Thank you very much. And he's in Creed 2.
I said she.
Oh,
Yeah.
I was like, he's just not in Creed 3.
Okay, whatever. After that, she's down. They're boyfriend girlfriend. After she gets pressured into sleeping with Rocky, she's just like, all right, I guess this is my life now. And now they're a couple, and she wants to support him in his boxing endeavors. But yeah, bro, the second half of this movie, like, it does go hard. I will give you that. Like, it's fucking waking up, cracking 4 eggs into a fucking cup and just pounding that shit. Like, that's that Jake shit. That's that me shit, bro. That's that shit that I fuck with.
Jake, I've lived with you
Gotta get that
multiple years of my
protein,
life.
dog.
You have never, not once in your entire life, cracked eggs into a glass and drank it.
Nah, I usually
That's a
crack it
lie.
into-
You did it once.
I've done it
with
multiple
me.
times, but I usually crack it into like oatmeal or rice for breakfast instead of just doing that shit raw. Especially when I was in high school and I was jacked.
You ate raw eggs?
If I didn't have the time to cook, yeah, get that protein. That's how iconic it was. I was like, you know what? They did it in Rocky.
Never even watched that movie, but let's go.
Never even watched it, but let's go. And then he goes on the jog through the shittiest parts of Philadelphia. It just looks fucking... Philadelphia looks like modern Dark Souls, dude. Like, if Undeadburg had a modern equivalent, it would be 1970s Philadelphia. Like, holy shit. And then he's running up the steps, and he does it. And he's like, yeah, bro, I did it. My cardio's back, baby. And Adrian, bless her fucking heart, she's like, you know, Rocky, that dog you love coming by the pet store and petting, here, I took him out for you. So you have somebody to keep you company on your runs. And I'm like, goddamn, Adrian deserves so much better. But at least they're getting this $150,000 paycheck at the end of all this shit. And like, her brother is such a fucking piece of shit. Because it gets announced on TV that Rocky's getting a $150,000 cut of this fight with Apollo Creed. That he literally only gets not because of talent, not because of work, not because of effort, but because Apollo Creed thought the name of the Italian stallion would look lit on a poster.
Hell yeah, it does.
And Paulie's just like, her brother is like trying to get in the cut, bro. He's trying to get in on that money. And then Mickey, the guy who owns the boxing gym, who gave up his locker, is trying to get a cut of that money. And I'm like, God damn, bro, this movie's about a bunch of fucking losers, Rocky included.
You know, I was about to defend him, but like, I can't.
I mean,
How
that's
was
like,
how was
as I
that
said,
beginning?
the first half of this movie is so rough, but the second half of this movie, you got Rocky punching the meat when he's fucking. I already forgot his name. Did I say Joey? What was her brother's name?
I don't remember.
Paulie. Paulie works in a meat factory, and he lets Rocky in so that Rocky can beat up the fucking meat, beat up the fucking cow carcasses to train. And he's doing his running, and he's doing the training montage, and you got that fucking theme, and god damn, it's good. And then fight night comes, and Rocky, in a fucking heartfelt, tear-filled monologue, is being big spooned by Adrian. And he says, you know, I can't beat Paulo. There's literally no way I'm beating Apollo Creed. He's the best, and I'm just some fucking schmuck from Philadelphia with bad knees. But you know what I am? I'm tough. And if I can last all 15 rounds with Apollo Creed, that's good enough for me. And fight night happens. And he's there, and he's ready. And Apollo Creed shows up in his Uncle Sam outfit that he had custom tailored. And he's hyping everybody up. And he's being the WWE style heel for this fight because he knows it's fucking entertaining. And Apollo Creed knows what's going to make the masses go fucking nuts in the newspapers. And the fight starts, and Rocky just fucking shits himself. Rocky fucking still sucks at fighting after all the training he did. He fucking blows booty cheeks, bro. Like he's dog shit. This man is blocking with his face. He learned nothing. Apollo Creed is a stick and move fighter, according to the fight choreography. And Rocky Balboa is a take shots to the chin fighter because I don't know how to raise my fucking hands. And I'm like, God damn, we waited this whole time and we're going to see the shittiest fight in cinematic history. And then round 2 happens. And Rocky starts blocking. And I'm like, okay, he's got his hands up. And then Rocky comes out a counterpuncher. He is waiting for his opportunity to slip Apollo Creed's punches and jabs and counter. And I'm like, okay, now we got to fight. And like the next 2 minutes of the movie, because the fucking fight scene in this movie is not long, fucking rules, bro. The fight with Rocky and Apollo Creed rules. It is a struggle of endurance and ego. And it is fucking magical. And then at the end of the fight, after it's called, and Rocky lost, he's got all these microphones in his face. Couldn't give less of a fuck. All he's doing is calling out for his girl. All he's doing is screaming Adrian's name because he wants nothing more than to embrace her. I'm like, goddamn beautiful. But pretty hard to forget about that sexual harassment shit the first half of the movie. Fuck me, bro.
Look, man.
It was a different time. That's just how we did it in the 70s, bro.
Just watch Rocky 2, all right?
If you liked a girl, you just kissed her on the lips forcibly while holding her, and then you told her, you don't have to kiss me back, but I really want to kiss you, so I'm going to kiss you. Anyway, Robert, what'd you watch?
Follow
that up, bud.
What do you rate it?
I don't know. I think giving movies scores is dumb, so I'll give it broke my balls for the first 40 minutes. I was inspired the next 40 minutes out of 10.
Okay.
Give it that's just how we did it in the 70s out of 10.
Jesus. I do think you should watch the second one, and then you won't.
We'll see, bro. It's leaving Tubi soon.
Well,
they have all the Rockies on there. I think they even have Creed 1. But I guess they're leaving
I have
soon.
access to the Creeds, so I have access to all of them, actually.
Maybe I'll get around to watching Sexual Harassment Simulator 2. We'll see.
Oh, no. It's different, I promise.
It was different in the 70s.
No, Creed.
I hope my dad never fucking listens to this podcast because I'm gonna get a fucking ass beating when I go home.
You're about to be Rocky.
My dad's gonna be like, "Yeah, we did do it in the 70s, pussy. Let me show you." And he's gonna beat my ass, bro.
All right, here's the question. Do we continue with something terrible or with something fun?
You know, Rocky's a little bit of both, baby. So, just keep it rolling.
All right. I didn't watch this alone. I watched this with Stephanie. We watched Jared from Subway catching a monster.
Oh my fucking God, guys. We watched,
Yeah.
like, what the fuck is with the sexual harassment content this fucking week, month, whatever?
It just kind of happened. Like,
we're all in sync in the worst possible fucking way.
It's just the way of the world right now.
so this was a 3-part documentary that, I mean, it was 3 episodes, but it's all one thing. And if you guys don't know who Jared from Subway is, I will be very fucking surprised because he was everywhere. He was the spokesperson for Subway for a long time because he was this really overweight dude who finally decided to go on a diet, and his diet was going to be just Subway subs. Healthy ones, obviously.
I have comments on this, but I'll let you continue.
And then he lost a shit ton of weight. And they began running stories about him, like, oh, look at this. He'd be holding up his big ass pants that now looked astronomically big next to him.
That we had plastered on the front of our workplace.
Yep.
What?
Well, yeah, we did at one point because they still hadn't caught him. And then a couple years later, after he's been working with kids for majority of this time, they found a bunch of child porn.
Okay, how bad was it? Because I heard of some shit with, like 16-year-olds.
Way worse.
Hear me out. So
But if
that's
it's worse, oh my fucking God.
No, that's the story I knew. That's the story I assumed everyone knew.
That's the story I knew. I was just like, damn, bro, like he was crushing it. A bit fresh. Subway.
Yep.
Be fresh.
It is so much worse than you can imagine.
Oh God.
And this documentary has audio clips of him talking about things.
Dude.
And it is some of the hardest things to listen to. Like, my God. I've never felt like so heartbroken and so much hatred in like at the same time. But some of the shit he said, God. And he's gonna get released soon, right? Like in a couple of years.
Dude, he can make the
2029.
sequels, bro.
2029. Shut the fuck up. Oh my God.
Wait for the Subway to hire him back, bro.
Basically, what happens is when he
Dude, what
was
if I can't find a job and have to work again at Subway?
I mean, I'm pretty sure they want nothing to do with him.
I mean, run it. Keep it going. It's fine.
So when he first started and he was first getting hired, he was all over the place. He was on all sorts of radio shows, doing a bunch of commercials. And there was one lady, I forgot her name. I feel like we should say her name. She's goddamn hero. So let me just pull this up real quick. Do you remember her name?
I do not remember her name. I love how you're like, she's a hero, but we don't remember her name.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm gonna look it up because like she deserves to
have that credit. Jeez, that's just bananas.
The shit she did.
For real. But she's not the one that caught him, right? She just had the backup evidence.
I feel like she did a lot. Like
she did do a lot.
Rochelle Herman was her name. She was a part of this radio show. She had him on. He was into her. I mean, I think he was kind of into everyone.
How old was she?
I don't know how old she was then, but she's a grown woman working at a radio show.
Noted.
And he's like complimenting her. He says she's beautiful, all sorts of things. And does he ask her out? I don't remember if he asks her out or something at the end. And she goes, "Oh, well, my kids would really love to meet you."
Bruh.
And he's like, "Yeah, let's do it."
I would love to meet them.
So they have lunch, and it's just so heartbreaking seeing like, and there's pictures where there's all her kids next to him, and they're excited because it's the Subway guy, and just with the knowledge, it's just kind of. But long story short, she quickly finds out because he lets something slip that he's a fucking weirdo. Like she meets him again at one point. They're doing a thing for a middle school, and he's like again flirting with her, trying to hold her hand, do all sorts of things. And then he just turns to her and says, I find sixth graders so hot.
Nice.
And she doesn't, she like thinks she heard wrong or something. She's like, what the fuck? And then people come in and she just kind of like, she's like, there's no way he said that. But she's like, this is weird. She gets this bad feeling. And she decides, well, he's into me. So I'm going to use that to try and find out what the fuck. And eventually she does. She finds out that this guy's a fucking creep and he wants to fuck kids. And she's radio person, but she's also like a reporter. So she tries to build a case against him. She records all these clips of like her talking on the phone with him. She tries to like get in so that he trusts her and tells her things. Takes all that shit to the FBI, and the FBI is like, "Did you know that recording someone while they don't know is illegal and a crime?" And she's like, and they're like, "All right, you work for us now. You're gonna get evidence, and then we'll take this guy down." And she does for a really long time. It destroys her life actually, and it ends up not being fruitful. Like they have this sting operation planned. It doesn't go through because Jared couldn't fucking make it. And they're like, "Well, we'll get him next time." And at this point, she's like fucking done. She's like, "Nah, bitch, fuck this." Goes to the police and is like, "Hey, this is going on. I want out. And if you guys don't do something about it, I'm gonna fucking put this shit on my radio." And the cops are like, "Hold on, hold on. We believe you. Don't do that. Because if you do that, all this shit's inadmissible in court. And it could fuck up the investigation. Let's talk to the FBI real quick." They talk to the FBI, confirm that, like, yeah, she was working with them. And then next thing you know, the FBI shows up, takes all her shit, and is like, you have to disappear because you're going to fuck up this investigation. And at that point, she's just happy to not deal with it anymore. And she's like, okay, yeah. And she goes and stops. And yeah, eventually they catch him with a shit ton of child porn. And I don't want to repeat some of the nastier things that he got caught saying. Stephanie, if you do, feel free.
Nah.
You sure?
It's really bad. Like it's so fucking disturbing. And the way his voice sounds excited, it just is the most horrible thing. And I won't say it because, if you want to watch it, you can go watch it. There is two victims in this, and the things they have to hear and go through, oof. I wouldn't wish that on anybody.
Right? And by the people that they were supposed to trust the most. Like, oh, jeez.
Sounds like a fun movie.
It wasn't.
Yeah, I fucking bet, bud. Like, holy shit.
Yeah. So, let's warm things up and bring it around with some Creed 3.
Yeah, cool. Woo! How much sexual harassment's in this one?
So, yes, I also watched Creed 3 and I really liked it. I don't think it's like the best, but I think it's amazing. It's a different storyline. Also, too, Jake, you'll like this. Just like Robert had said, Rocky is not in it. So,
No, what are you talking about, bro? He's so endearing and funny. And, just the common everyman.
well,
It's just how we did it in the 70s.
jeez. Well, Creed is a lot more respecting of women kind of in this movie. So, that's
Well,
the
then
good
they ruined the
thing.
movie.
Oh, jeez. Whoa, let's just chill out. But also with this movie, it's kind of the same thing, kind of not. So Michael B. Jordan, he does go into retirement, but then he does end up coming out of retirement, and it is just kind of wild, like the things that get him out of retirement. And I don't know. I think this is like a good question for you guys, but like, what would you do if you had heard that somebody was talking bad about you, but they were like a really good friend to your face,
Oh, and they were talking shit behind my back?
basically?
Probably none.
Usually just delete them.
All right, all right. But now they're basically telling everybody that like you're a fraud. Like everything that you're doing is like fake and like you don't have the talent, all of this other stuff, like attacking your character too and your family.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Did you say family?
I did. I did.
That's different.
Nah, I don't give a shit.
You can talk shit about me, but you talk about my family. That means I'm gonna hear about it. So
So yeah, that's
I'd be like, yeah, well, I guess that means you got to fight my sister. Good luck, buddy. I don't give a fuck. She'll put you in the fucking dirt.
I'd be like, hey, I heard you're talking shit. You been going around telling people I like Tetris?
oh my
Oh,
god.
fuck out of here.
Okay. You know, YouTube boxing's gotten real hot, and I really think we ought to get in on that game. So Robert and I are going to be boxing at the end of next month. Look forward to it. Backlog Boat Boxing. BBB. Get ready. Stay tuned. Feel free to donate to our Patreon for front row seats.
Yeah, that's not happening.
I'm putting Tetraminos on the back of my gloves so Robert can feel the strength and power of Tetris as I beat his goddamn face in. It's gonna be great.
So Creed 3, I'm guessing his rival was his friend and then started talking shit, and that's why they're fighting.
There's a lot of things that happen in it. I guess also too, there's like a huge thing that happens with Michael B. Jordan. He has a like very big trauma that ends up getting revealed in the movie. It's just like kind of wild. Because again, like he's never talked about it in any of the other movies. So you're just like, what the fuck? But they I guess like segue it in. Like it is really good. And I do like this movie because it has closure. Like it isn't just like, oh, now we're done. Like it's not just a huge fight. Like there's more to it. And I thought that was really amazing. I think you all know with Michael B. Jordan that with this movie, he decided to add some or anime elements from a lot of different animes that he really likes. And so
I'm
He did
sorry,
mention
they
that.
put Hajime no Ippo in this fucking movie.
He mentioned a lot of things.
he mentioned Baki. And
Gross,
Naruto.
dude! What the fuck?
And he also mentioned, oh geez, there is like 2 or 3 more that he had mentioned too. But yeah, he tried to take like elements from those. And you can see it. Yeah.
If there isn't a fucking Dempsey role in this movie, Stephanie, I'm gonna be so goddamn disappointed.
I think it's
See-
worth it. I think it's worth to watch.
Because it's Jonathan Majors, right?
Hmm.
He's the rival, the friend.
Yeah.
And I love him in everything I've watched him in, so I'm pretty excited about that.
It was
Jake, you
really
know who Jonathan Majors is?
Maybe.
He's Kang.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, he was really good in Ant-Man 3.
Like I
That's the
said,
only thing I've seen him in.
he's also in Lovecraft Country.
That is his
He's in-
legacy to me. Is
He's in The
Ant-Man
Harder
3.
They Fall. So,
Nope, Ant-Man 3.
I mean, I would even say Loki at that point, but yeah.
Ant-Man 3.
totally
That's
forgot
it.
about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot Jonathan Majors is in that movie too, because that movie fucking sucks.
Well, I
Which
meant
movie?
about Lovecraft Country, but
I know, how's the fighting, Stephanie? Tell me about the fighting choreography.
it's pretty great.
What you know about Southpaws? What you know
Oh.
about boxing styles?
Oh shit. Okay then.
What you know about
let's just
footwork
chill
and
out.
guard? Tell me something. Tell me something about the fighting. Tell me, the martial arts nerd, something I'll be looking forward to.
I think that you should just watch it because I am not a connoisseur of such endeavors in life.
You gotta
But
play catch up too.
wait,
What?
me or Jake?
No, Jake. He's
Oh,
on
yeah.
he's on Rocky 2 talking about Creed 3.
Bruh, I don't know if my heart can take it, bro.
It's very different.
Yeah, there's no
I really
more of
like
that.
the second
Are we
Creed.
sure?
You know, I actually haven't watched Creed 2 yet.
What? Oh my gosh. Well,
So I
Okay,
still
some
don't
people-
know. Sorry, go on.
no, I was about to say that's it. Like some people like it, some people don't, because again, he's different. That makes sense.
How's
I liked it.
Canelo in this movie?
Canelo Alvarez in this movie?
Yeah, he is.
You
Some
didn't
say-
mention that?
Oh yeah, that's also a thing. But I guess he's not at the same point.
What?
He's a cameo. So
Oh, he's
Okay.
not even a fighter. He doesn't fight.
no.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean,
Okay.
that makes sense, I guess.
But he
Unsolved.
looks really cool. Like and his wife's in it.
Bro, who
Okay.
gives a fuck about Canelo's wife?
I think she's a beautiful woman. I don't know.
Okay, well, now we know why Stephanie showed up.
Sometimes.
We'll end it with the fun one. I watched Scream 6.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, this isn't a backlog thing, but
They're all the same movie, and also, yeah, it's not on your fucking backlog.
I did plenty of backlog things this month, so
I've never seen a Scream movie and gone, yeah, that was pretty alright.
what the fuck?
What do you want from me?
They're
They're not
good,
entertaining.
except for the fifth one.
I watched that one too. That one also sucked.
Just that one
I
wasn't
swear to
as
God,
good
if I
as the
catch
other
more
ones.
flack for saying Scream is bad than fucking Rocky,
No,
I'm
I
gonna
don't. I
shit
don't think you will.
myself.
I think a lot of people don't care for them, and so I think that's why a lot of people went into Scream 6 without a lot of high hopes. And that's the best way to go into this movie. Right off the bat, changes everything. This movie knows what it is. It knows that it's Scream 6. It knows what people want, and it still finds a way to be like, this isn't your grandma's Scream. This is Scream
People
6.
die even harder.
People do die harder. That's not a lie.
People get it.
It's really fun, and it even though Sydney's not in it, it works, and it literally brings in all of the other Screams. Like it plays into every single one of the other movies, and it's just a really fun time. Um,
How's the killer? Is he charismatic? Is
the
he
killer is
entertaining?
terrifying.
So he's spooky ooky.
Like he's actually scary this time
Damn.
because he doesn't just like one of the things I liked about the Scream movies was he falls, he
Yeah, he's
fumbles.
clumsy as shit.
Not in this one. In this one, he is scary.
In
It's
this
just
one, he
like
knows judo.
it's just fun. Like if you like Scream, you'll like it. If you don't like Scream, you'll be like, oh, this one's all right.
Damn, bro. Fuck, sold.
I mean, it's hard to talk about it without spoiling things because they're always who the fuck's the killer? Except, oh wait, the killer takes off the mask in the first 20 minutes and you know who it is.
Damn, that's crazy, bro.
That's fucking wild. That's changing the formula.
I guess.
7 out of 10. I had a good time. It was fun. Now, before we move on to TV shows, there is a little something I did during this month. Decided to do a fun little thing with the two of you, and we'll cut to that right now. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Roberto's Quick Time Corner. Today, we will be playing Minutes the Limit, a game where we give our contestants 60 seconds to rack up as many points as they can.
What?
Jake, let's begin. I'm going to put 60 seconds on the clock, and when I say go, I want you to name as many different elements on the periodic table as you can.
You're a fucking bitch. You
Ready?
threw me into a call for this.
Go.
Fucking oxygen, selenium, magnesium, hydrogen, gold, silver, uh, americanium, uh, I'm sure there's more. Nitrogen, helium, uranium, plutonium. How many other ums are there in the fucking periodic table of elements? Silicone, iron. I already say iron. Sodium. Is chloride one? I think chloride's one. Uh,
And that's 60 seconds on the
Lime.
clock.
Oh,
I'm
fucking-
glad that we got that down. All right, now it's Stephanie's turn. Name of the game is Minutes the Limit. Stephanie, I'm going to put 60 seconds on the clock, and you're going to have 60 seconds to rack up as much points as you can.
For what?
Well, when I say go, I want you to name as many different elements on the periodic table as you can. Ready, set, go.
What? Oh my god! It's helium, hydrogen, nitrogen. Fuck. Barium, maybe carbon. Salt. No, that's not salt. Sodium. Uh, Radium. Then there is another one. Boron, right? Lithium, magnesium. I know that's another one. Maybe. Oh no, maybe I'm wrong. Uh, and uh, nickel. I think.
10 seconds left.
Fuck. Jeez, I know there's another one. The fucking. There's like the hardest whatever.
And that's time.
Damn.
Thank you for joining us today in
Iron.
Robert's QuickTime Corner. I will have the results in the next couple of seconds through the power of editing. All right. We have the results.
Okay. Did I
Are
win?
you guys ready for this?
Did I win? Did Robert also mention that I had like 105-degree fever while he fucking called me and I was doing that stupid shit?
I did this after like 9 clients, so.
Literally on my fucking deathbed, and he's asking me exam questions.
This is how we're going to do this. Oh, by the way, there was a prize for this. The winner gets to decide one of the things I'm going to do for my backlog next month.
Fuck out of here.
All right. So, Jake, you gave me 15 answers. 3 of those were wrong, but they were close. I was just judging very harshly. The ones you got wrong were you said Americanium,
I said Americanium. Fuck you.
Americanium, whatever. That's wrong. You said
Americium is a fucking fuck you. It is a fucking element.
you said you had an N in there. You had an N in there.
I was also
I went back.
literally fucking dying.
Because it is Americium. It is not Americanium.
Whatever.
So that one's wrong. You said silicone. That, my friend, is not an element. And it is derived from the element silicon, though.
Fuck you.
You said chloride. Yet again, not an element.
Fuck.
But it is derived from the element chlorine. They are different things. They are compounds. They are not.
Yeah, okay,
elements.
whatever. You're the type of fucking TA grader who fucking the average class scores like a fucking 40%.
Stephanie,
Yes.
none of the answers you gave me were wrong. Every single element you said was an element. Jake, you got 12 of them right. Stephanie, you got all 11 of yours right.
No!
The winner is Jake. By 1.
Sick. Have fun watching Fairy Tale, loser.
That's not on my backlog. I already watched it.
Nope. Shut the fuck up. Fine.
So-
have fun watching One Piece,
Okay.
loser.
I'm already watching One Piece.
Fine. Have fun watching Gintama, loser. No,
Look.
I'll do you one better. Have fun watching Naruto, Shippuden, and Boruto. Have fun. Fuck you.
I mean, if you don't want to take it seriously, that's fine.
Bitch, what am I supposed to say? Yeah, play New Vegas. Like, bitch, you haven't even beat Lisa. You haven't even beat fucking... What's that other game I like? SMT4.
You can choose anything you want. Like, if you do want to choose Naruto, yeah, go for it. Ain't gonna fucking happen because it's impossible, but...
Like what? You gonna fucking watch K-On? You gonna fucking watch Shamar Shampoo? Like, what else have I fucking recommended?
You can say any of those.
Have you not watched Samurai Champloo?
I
I
know,
have
it blows my
not.
fucking mind.
Yeah, that's kind of wild, Robert. Whoa.
I think we've talked about this before.
You know what? Fuck it. Watch.
You don't have to decide right now.
I'll
You
send
can
you
think
what you
about
need
it.
to listen to.
Yeah, you can think about it and then just drop it at the end of the episode. All right. Now we can move on to TV shows. Um, there's two TV shows that we've already talked about, and they just wrapped up. Stephanie and I both watched them, so we can get those out of the way. The Last of Us, that ended.
Yay!
Thoughts,
Woo!
Stephanie?
Wait,
I
are you
want
talking to
Pedro
me or are you
Pascal
gonna
to put a
go?
baby in me.
Yeah. Jake didn't watch The Last of Us.
Oh, I thought it was really good. I liked it. I liked how it ended. It was nice.
They kept the scene that everyone wanted them to keep in.
Oh my god.
As far as a video game adaptation, 10 out of 10. It was already written for you guys. Just copy paste.
I heard the ending was fucking whack.
It's literally the same ending.
Right, it's literally the ending from the
I've
video
heard it
game.
was not.
It's literally the same ending.
I've heard the justification for Joel's actions at the end have changed.
It's
Or at the
literally
very least, the context, which makes it a very different thing from the video game, if that's the case.
so it's literally the same thing, but I've seen people argue that we on the TV show, they give us a lot of context for certain things that aren't even in the video game. And so people wanted more context on why the Fireflies were doing the thing that they did and why they thought that would work. And because the show did not give us that context, they say that Joel had no way of knowing that it would have worked, which
Whatever.
is
You can bleep this shit if you want to. What I heard was Joel, like, they went from Ellie being unconscious. They're gonna do the surgery. Ellie was down for this. To her knowing nothing about it. And
Ellie.
it not being a surefire thing that it would work.
That's how it happens in the game.
Yeah, I was about to say.
In the game, it's like they're
Ellie
like,
doesn't
hey,
know.
this is
She's down,
no, yeah, that's the thing. Is Ellie's like, hey man, even if it costs me, like I'm down.
and they have
And
that
Joel
conversation earlier
knows
in the
that.
episode. Yeah, they have that conversation earlier in the episode. Like Joel is literally like, "Hey, we can just go. We don't have to do this. We can just go and have a life." And Ellie's like, "No, we came all this way." And she literally lists all the people that have died for this. And she's like, "We got to do this. I have to do this. I want to do this." And Joel's like, "Okay." And then they keep going because Joel literally stopped her.
All right, I guess.
People are just trying to justify Joel because they don't want to be rooting for someone who did something like that.
As I said, haven't watched it. All I heard was there's less ambiguity about Joel's choice at the end, and it is framed like Joel did the right thing, which would be very much the
I don't.
antithesis of
We
what.
had a conversation about this.
I don't agree with that. I don't think that it's
Yeah.
framed that way. But
But also, as I
then,
said, I haven't watched it.
then again, maybe I'm stupid. I have the video game in my knowledge, so maybe I'm plugging in shit that's not there. I'm biased. Stephanie's also played the game.
I guess that's true, but I don't think we are though. At least from
If-
like the last episode. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, neither do I, but I'm just saying it's a possibility. We also finished Shrinking.
I'm
It's
more excited to hear about that than fucking The Last of Us. It was good. Who would have thought? The video game that should have been a fucking movie or TV show the whole time was pretty good.
I'm really glad it was a game, but
Thought the multiplayer was fun.
Shrinking was more of the same, It was good, lighthearted fun, some little drama thrown in there, but all pretty basic like human problems, and in the end everything wrapped up nice and neat. You got a little wedding episode at the end. Everyone kind of sort of things are resolved until they're not. And the show takes a dark little turn and set a really good cliffhanger for season 2. I liked it.
I do agree. It was good shit.
What did you think was good about it, Stephanie?
I like the
How good
elements
was
that
the
they bring
boxing?
in. Oh my god. It was fucking great, let me tell you. But anyway, it was good because it really did bring in like real things that therapists go through. So that was really cool. And also too, right? Just like humanness. And in the end, there is a really cool thing that happens, but also a really terrible thing. So it's definitely worth the watch. And also too, I guess a lot of people can relate to it. Anybody really can.
Yep, nice, fun dramedy.
I love dramedies.
I
Horse and
give
Peace is my
it
favorite.
a 9 out of 10.
Damn, y'all really committed to this fucking scoring system, aren't you?
I'm just throwing some numbers out there. Jake, we've talked about 2 shows we watched. What do you got?
All right, so I fucking hate anime. It's garbage. Like it's trash. Like I used to love this medium so much growing up in high school and middle school. But like it feels like every time I consume the hottest anime of this season, it feels like I just like it even less. Like as a hobby, it just feels like I'm outgrowing it or falling out of it, and I don't know what the fuck is happening, bro. And that kind of sucks because it's just like, damn, I used to have so much love and passion for this thing, and there's people around me and like all these YouTube communities and YouTubers I like watching that have so much love and passion for this thing, and I feel like I lost it. And then I finished Ranking of Kings. And god damn, bro, what a good fucking show. It's not a good anime. It's not a good cartoon. It is just good television. Ranking of Kings is about a little deaf prince who was born weak and small. And everybody makes fun of him and talks shit about him because they think he's stupid. At the start of the show, this little kid is just hanging out in a field by himself, and this little shadow creature comes up and then tries to mug him. And he's like, hey, give me all your shit. And this little kid's like, whoa, I can understand what this little shadow thing is saying. That's lit. So he gives this little shadow guy holding a knife to him all of his shit just because he's so excited to have somebody he can talk to. And then the little shadow blob thing is like, lit. You should go back into town and get me more of your shit. And this little prince is so excited that he has somebody he can finally talk to that he's like, yeah, sure, no problem, bro. And he brings this little shadow blob thief all of his clothes. And he's wearing multiple layers of clothes throughout town. And then he talks to this little shadow blob thing for a little bit after giving him all of his clothes. And then the shadow blob leaves. And then he walks back into town naked with a smile on his face. Everything's looking up. Just had a conversation with somebody, which is cool because I'm deaf. That's nuts. And, people are smiling. They're laughing. They're saying things. But, the little kid's not going to be bothered. He's just walking around, cute little smile on his face. And then he gets home. And then his mom, the queen, roasts the shit out of him. She's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Why don't you have any clothes? Who is stealing your shit? Who's mugging you? Find them and murder the shit out of them, guardsmen. You need to have some more self-respect, little prince. You're walking around town half naked, you fucking idiot. And he's just getting put on blast by his mom for 5 minutes straight. And then still smiling, still nodding. He's like, whatever. Then he goes up to his room and he shuts the door. And then he lays in bed and then he just cries for minutes on end. And you're like, God damn, I'm rooting for this kid. And that is the gist of what this show is about. It's about watching our little deaf prince grow and the struggles that he deals with. And on every single level, this anime goes hard as fuck. Robert, did you finish Ranking of Kings?
I did.
Ranking of Kings, I don't know how else to explain it other than it's fantasy-ass fantasy. Like, you got your kings, you got your giants, you got your weird little shadow blob creatures, you got your not understood arcane magic spells with all these horrifying and weird-ass steps, you got your fucking demon summoning, and it's about the adventure of this little prince. And his growth into somebody who's worthy of being crowned king. And it fucking rules. There's kind of an amazing supporting cast around the little prince. And they have their own backstories that get fleshed out. You kind of learn why everybody is the way he is. You learn that the little prince can read lips, so he understands exactly all the shit people are talking about him. But nah, he's still determined. He's still gonna be crowned king. And this is why I'm so, nonplussed by shows like Full Metal Alchemist, because this show takes similar themes and does similar things, and then fucking nails the shit out of it. It's got its political intrigue plot. It's got its supernatural, weird romance plot. It's got its fucking dark arcane secrets. It's got its like
Basically,
Arthurian fucking tale.
it's basically if Miyazaki made a Game of Thrones.
Kind of. This anime also looks really fucking cool because it does not look like an anime. It kind of looks. I don't know. Robert is right. It kind of looks Miyazaki-esque, but it's like almost got enough like Western influence in it that it almost looks like a European cartoon. And like the last fight in this anime is legitimately the hypest fight in the entire show, which is saying something because this show is so good. It tricks you into thinking that it is not a shonen anime. When it is literally one for one, just a shonen typical anime, but it just knocks everything so far out of the fucking park that it doesn't compare to most modern shonen anime.
I would say there is nothing typical about Ranking of Kings.
I mean, it
It adds
the
its own
fucking
flair to everything.
I mean, if you take Naruto and you take Bocchi, the Little Prince, they have a lot of the same characteristics and a lot of the same struggles.
I would say that he has more in common
Ranking
with
of
Luffy.
Kings just makes it way more interesting.
Like,
They're both weak. They're both not liked. They're both ostracized. They both go on a journey to prove their worth. They're both wrapped up in political bullshit they don't understand. It's just like this anime tells that story in such a quick amount of time and a lot better. Like this anime, the writing in this anime takes so many twists and turns. There's moments where I audibly gasp while watching this fucking show. And I genuinely think it's a fucking television show that everybody should watch, even if you don't like anime. This shit is so good, I got my parents into it. Like, do yourself a solid. Get that Funimation free trial. Load up Ranking of Kings. Binge in like a week. It's only 20 episodes. And have yourself a good fucking time. Let yourself see what the pinnacle of anime could be.
Stephanie, did you finish Ranking of Kings?
I'm still halfway through it.
Okay, Stephanie, then you could have waited in on this conversation any time. What the fuck do you think about Ranking of Kings so far?
I think it's pretty good. Yeah, I really do like it.
Does your heart not break?
Some of them.
Is your
Right.
Doki Doki nut in your balls as you're watching the things happen
Sorry.
to Boji? Bro, this fucking is your Kokoro not hitting the fucking floor? My guy? As you're watching a story of love and betrayal and fucking ambition and promises? No opinion, Stephanie?
I mean, no, it's good shit. It's really good shit.
The last fight in this show, they spent so much fucking money on the animation. It is mind-blowing. Because they could have animated a typical fight, but they didn't. What they did is they animated the fight from the perspective of a character and how he sees it.
It is pretty fucking cool.
It is not what is actually happening. It is what he perceives is happening. And that is way fucking cooler than what is actually happening. And it's at the point where everybody else also sees what is happening from this character's perspective. They see the real foe in play here. And it's beautiful. Like, the show is beautiful. I love it. It reminds me why I like anime. It reminds me why I put up with so much fucking garbage in this goddamn hobby.
I think there's plenty of good anime out there that, do the best they can
good
do.
anime, but there's not a lot of anime that just fucking that hits for me, bro. Me specifically. The amount of animes I've watched, and then I haven't gotten those highs that I used to get. But I got Ranking of Kings. I got Cyberpunk Edge Runners. Fuck else did I watch? Attack on Titan. We got that shit that like reminds me of like, yeah, I'm a fan too. I like this shit too.
So Ranking of Kings,
Ranking Kings.
It's a bring your Kokoro to the floor out of 10.
Yeah, dog. Ranking of Kings is make your family watch it on Christmas out of 10.
My family doesn't watch anime. Well, not my parents anyway.
Throw it on for Aiden. He might be like, oh, look, little cartoon.
Aiden does like One Piece, so.
I mean, this anime also has a blender. It's pretty lit. It's, blender out of 10. Robert, the fuck you got going on?
I also watched an anime, finished an anime, actually. I watched Mob Psycho Part 3. And if you guys haven't watched Mob Psycho, or heard of Mob Psycho. It's by the same guy who wrote One Punch Man, which is the most like even people that hadn't watched anime watched One Punch Man, so maybe that'll mean something. I think Mob Psycho is better than One Punch Man. I say that only having seen the first season of One Punch Man,
I've heard that's the general consensus.
and it's kind of got the same theme basically. You got one dude who's super overpowered and he's just going through life. Except in this one, it's a kid that's got psychic powers, and he is overpowered, but they handle it in a really cool way. I've the what I finished was season 3, so season 1 amazing, 10 out of 10. Season 2 was somehow better, and I was like, okay, I don't know if season 3 is gonna hit as much as season 2 did. Like, how are they gonna do better and also wrap this up? And then they fucking do it. They this is a perfect anime. Like, it doesn't overstay its welcome. It you like slice of life, that's there for you. You like dope ass fights, that's there for you. You like fucking laughing, it's hilarious. You want to feel sad, there's some very heartbreaking moments in the show. It's got it all. And like I said, I don't want to spoil it because I think anyone should just go into this and enjoy it. 10 out of 10. Music's amazing, fights are great, animation's dope, and now it's over. And that's very sad. But it also tackles that sometimes, things are over and just be glad that you got to be there for the journey. Have you guys seen Mob Psycho?
I have.
Have you finished it?
I have not.
Season 1, season 2?
I finished season 1, and I think I watched a little bit of season 2.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I've finished season 1, but I've heard nothing but good things. And my vibe check against this show isn't like it's an overhyped piece of shit like Fullmetal Alchemist. So, I got to finish that. I hear nothing but good things, and I believe them.
Yeah. Like I said, like there's so much I could say, but I genuinely just don't want to for the people that don't know anything. Because just if you've been wondering, should I watch this? Or like you said, is it overhyped? No, it is not. It is genuinely a really good time.
From what I've gathered about season 1, it is a show about the themes of, I don't know, growth,
The whole thing's about growth.
work, effort, and ambition. Like, damn, you might suck at this now, but it doesn't mean you're going to be bad at it forever.
Yeah.
It's about dedication, baby. It's about how bad you want it.
Like
Is
I said,
anime motivational? Am I getting the right vibe?
it
Or
is
did they
100%
just pivot?
motivational.
In the second season, they're just like, actually, you couldn't do it, kid. You're garbage. Go home.
It's motivational, but it's also a show that isn't afraid to show you that sometimes things won't go your way and that life will go on. 10 out of 10 to the whole fucking thing. It's perfect. So yes, there is other anime that do it right too, Jake.
That's it, bro. I believe it about Mob Psycho.
But sometimes some anime go on for like too many seasons
You mean most of them?
and they might lose their flair. What do we know about Agretsuko?
Gretzko?
Gratsuko? I can't pronounce shit.
Wow,
Is that
that's
what
not
you
good
fucking
shit.
said?
Hmm?
I
What?
legit have no fucking idea what anime you said until Stephanie said a Gretzko.
I said Agretsuko.
It's a Gretzko.
Yeah, I gathered that.
Okay. Just so we're clear.
What season is this now?
This is season 5.
God damn, what the fuck did I miss? I didn't even finish season 1.
Oh,
I
it's
finished
good shit.
season 1, I think. But let's hear season 5 brought us.
It's freaking amazing. Well, okay, I don't know if you all are gonna finish it, but basically, like, the last few seasons have been, like, pretty fucking wild. Like, again, for people who don't know what Gretzko is, it's basically this really cute anime, but she basically does death metal, and this is how she, like, releases her, like, rage and anger from her office job, and also to just random things that are going on in her life. And so, with this new season, it just brings up, like, so many different trials and tribulations, and Gretzko would normally be the main character, and she's still involved, but it really takes a look at, Haida, which is a person that's also in the show, but he's a little bit different in this season, and
The
so
hyena dude with a crush on a Gretzko.
Yep.
Nice. I like the guy.
Right. And also too, a lot of other people from prior seasons get to make an appearance. So Tadano is still in this. I know a lot of people like Tadano and Agretzko. Like that is like a whole ship. But he's still there, and also too, of course, right? Like her best friends are still there and everything else. I thought it was nice. It's like just good to watch in the background. Like it is a feel good, I feel like anime. And also too, like it's not long either. Like again, the episodes are like 13 minutes.
Have they always been 13 minutes?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Damn, why
Holy
did I finish
shit.
this shit?
Yeah, like that. I feel like I haven't been giving it a chance.
I mean, if Gretzko is taking a back seat, is there still like she's still singing death metal
It's
in the season?
a little interesting. So each season is a little bit different on how the death metal is tied into things.
Okay. How's the music?
It's pretty okay. Pretty okay. I would say so. Even in English dubbed. So both of
I
them
mean, I
sound
think
pretty
that's how
cool.
I was watching it.
Is this like the last season? Did they leave it open?
If I'm being completely honest with you, I didn't know that this season was actually going to be a thing. Like, I'm not mad at it, but I guess I was expecting it to be a little bit different. But also, too, since you all haven't seen the last season, like Haida did some really interesting stuff. So he had to basically make some life changes, and you get to see like what he did.
So are you saying that like the last season you thought was like it was over?
I did, but now with this one, like I could see them doing something else with it, but also too, I don't know. Like it's open for another thing. I just don't think that they would do another one. Maybe they could though, because again, like Agretzko is like ridiculously cute, and of course, right? Like why wouldn't you capitalize on that? But
It's because she was designed by the same dude who made Hello Kitty,
mhm,
or same
mhm.
company.
I did not know that.
Yeah, that's why she's so
Very similar.
plushy-able and
Mhm.
merchable. All of them are, technically.
Dude's a genius.
All the characters are. They're just a bunch of furries that look cute on plushies.
If you bring up Beastars,
I was about to bring up Zootopia, but yeah, it's basically Beastars, but chibi.
oh,
Probably less murder than a Gretzko
There's gonna be a Zootopia too.
and more slice of life.
So what do you give Agretzko? Did I say it right that time?
yes.
Okay.
This new season, I'd probably give it like probably a 7.5.
Series as a whole,
I freaking love it. So, series as a whole, I would say probably still an 8.
I like it.
Robert, did you watch anything else?
You know, that was pretty much it for TV shows on my end. So I'm gonna go over and hand it to Jake.
I'm gonna need another beer for this one.
Okay.
Strap in, ladies and gentlemen. So, I watched a show solely based off of a TikTok. I found this TikTok edit on YouTube with a remix that I liked, and I was like, "What the fuck is this show? And why does it look like? Why is it animated in such an interesting way? Why does this look so good?" And I'm scrolling through the comment section, and then I finally found out that this anime was called Flowers of Evil. So I load up Crunchyroll, look up Flowers of Evil, fucking nothing. And I'm like, shit, okay. Funimation, look up Flowers of Evil, fucking nothing. And I'm like, okay, what the fuck? And then I just look it up on Google, and it's like, okay, so you can either pirate it, buy the Blu-ray, or get a subscription to High Dive, the independent anime streaming service. So now I have a subscription to High Dive, and I'm like, okay, this anime's aesthetic got me so fucked up that I just spent an extra $5 a month. So let's check it out. Let's see what's going on. Flowers of Evil is an entirely rotoscoped anime, which, for those that aren't aware, rotoscoping is an animation technique that used to be employed by Disney, and then they stopped because it was too fucking expensive. But you film your subject that you want to animate, and then you frame or trace over the film frame by frame. So this anime has a weird, hyper fluid, hyper realistic look that I haven't really seen any other movie or anime pull off for this long. Like the entire show looks like this. And it must have been expensive as fuck. Because like there's scenes where our main character is sitting on a riverbank and they rotoscoped the fucking water. Like the amount of money that has to go into rotoscoping water has to be fucking nuts. Because I almost couldn't tell that the water was animated. I thought it was like legit just they slapped like filmed water on top of the fucking anime. And I was like, okay, damn. The show has my attention.
That's
But
pretty wild.
Yeah, no, it's like the show looks fucking nuts. But the show's about this kid named Kasuga going to middle school. So I guess he would be like a high school freshman in American terms. And he's kind of fucking boring. He's kind of boring. He's not that popular. He's not very good at school. He's not very athletic. But he really likes books. And specifically, he likes classic literature. And this ranges from classical Japanese literature to like European classic poetry. This kid is so in love with his books that he has a framed picture of Charles Baudelaire, the French poet, in his room, who has written his favorite book, Flowers of Evil. A book he is constantly thinking about and constantly quoting as he's going about his daily life about temptation. From what I've gathered, that's what this poetry collection is about. Flowers of Evil is a poetry collection by Charles Baudelaire about temptation and needs.
Is this a real book, like in real life? Okay.
So Kasuga is walking home with his dipshit friends after school, and his dipshit friends are like, hey, so I found my brother's porn DVDs. Y'all want to come over and watch it? And everybody's like, hell yeah, bro, let's go. And he's like, oh shit, I forgot my copy of Flowers of Evil in my desk at school. I'll catch up with y'all later. I gotta go get my book back. And everyone's like, you're full of shit. And he's like, no, I really gotta go. So he runs back to school. And he grabs his copy of his book. And he's walking out of the classroom. And he notices something fall out of like basically a locker. They don't have lockers, I guess. They have like cubbies that you put your shit in his school. And he sees it, and he reads the little name tag on this little sack. And he's like, oh shit. This is the gym uniform of my crush Hanako. And in a moment of passion, without really knowing what he's doing,
I don't like this.
he stuffs the gym uniform underneath his clothes and runs out of school.
Okay, yeah, that works.
And he goes home and he's just staring at it and he's like, what the fuck did I do? What have I done? This is fucked up. I've read all this poetry about temptation. I should know better. I am better. I'm not a weirdo. I need to somehow sneak this uniform back into class. And then he formulates a plan to sneak it back into her bag. And then he goes to school the next morning. And then he sees his crush and she looks viciously uncomfortable. And he's like, what the fuck? And then everybody's gossiping and he's like, oh shit. And then somebody's like, wow, somebody really broke into her class after hours and took the hottest girl in school's uniform. Gym uniform, bro. That's fucking gross. That's sick. That's disgusting. What kind of weirdo would do this shit? And he's like, oh fuck. Oh no. Oh fuck. Because it's not like he's doing anything weird with the uniform. It was literally just a stupid middle schooler move. Like, what this show gets right is it gets the anxiety and fear of being a grade schooler, of you doing stupid shit and immediately going, fuck. And then immediately going like, what do I do? Like, there's a moment where he's in his room and he's like, well, do I just fess up? Do I tell people? What do I do? And he's like, well, if I tell my parents, they're going to fucking yell at me. And then they're going to fucking have to apologize to everybody. and then the whole school's gonna hate me. It's a small town. We're a small mountain town. I can't escape. There's nowhere I could go. There's no public buses to another city. I gotta run away, bro. There's nothing I could do. Fuck. And he's basically having this anxiety attack to the point where he pukes. And he's like, fuck, I don't know what to do. And he's like, fuck it, whatever. I'll just pretend it never happened. I'll just never take the uniform out. It's fine. And then this girl approaches him after school. And she's like, hey, do you want to hang out? And he's like, what? No, sorry, I got to go read my book. And then she's like, I know what you did. And he's like, what? And she's like, yeah, I saw you take her uniform, bro. You're a fucking disgusting pervert. And he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. What the fuck do you mean? And she's like, but don't worry. You're a disgusting perv like me. And he's like, what? And she's like, basically, she's like, from now on, you're going to do exactly what I say, or everybody's going to know. And it is just a, like, crippling anime about anxiety and blackmail and guilt. And this woman that is blackmailing our main protagonist is a fucking psychopath. Like, she is making him do increasingly depraved and fucked up shit for, like, her own enjoyment and sense of company. And it gets out of hand. Like, the way we're introduced to this character is she's getting put on blast by the teacher in front of the whole class because she just didn't fill out an exam. Like, she literally got a 0 out of 100. She didn't even write anything down for the whole hour. She just didn't try. And he's putting her on blast, and he's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? What are you doing? Why are you even here? And then she just, in front of the whole class, she looks at him, and she's like, eat shit, bro. Fuck you. As loud as she can. And everybody's like, what the fuck is wrong with this bitch? And the teacher is so mad that he's about to swing on her, but then she gives him this death stare. This fucking cold-ass death stare, and he stops in his tracks. And he's like, whatever, just take your seat. And then class continues on as normal. And whenever Kasuga, our main protagonist, upsets her, he gets one of these cold-ass death stares. And it is like, I don't know, like, it's a genuinely haunting facial expression. Because everything about this anime is hyper-realistic. Like, it is fucked, the way she stares at people. And it is just, like, a descent into, like, depravity and debauchery, and there's nothing this fucking kid can really do about it, because he's stuck. And he's like, okay, well, shit. She knows, and if I don't do everything she says, I'm fucked. So she's basically blackmailing him into hanging out with her, because she's also a fucking outcast and a weirdo. And she's like, finally, somebody like me. Somebody to spend time with. And he's like, fighting his identity as a weirdo. He's like, no, it was just a moment of passion. I'm not a weirdo. I haven't done anything weird and sick with this uniform. And then one day she's like, hey, bring it to the library after class. And he's like, why? Why the fuck would I do that? I need to burn it. And then she's like, bring it or I'll tell everybody. And he's like, okay. So he brings it to the library after class or after school. And it's just her and him. And then she's like, so you haven't done anything weird with this uniform? And he's like, no. And then she starts ripping his clothes off in the middle of the library. And then, like, this is fucked because, like, this was obviously rotoscoped. So everything about what is happening is hyper realistic and super uncomfortable. And she starts putting the fucking uniform on him. And then she's like, wow, what a fucking sicko. What a perv. Rubbing his fucking crush's uniform all over his body. And, like, shit just keeps escalating. And it starts getting really fucking bad. And, like, I can't recommend this anime to anybody, but I fuck with it. And I fuck with it hard.
So, I feel like I don't need to ask. I feel like I already know the answer to this question. You might have had the same thoughts, Stephanie. Is this written by the same guy that wrote Blood on the Tracks?
I don't think so.
I think it is, isn't it?
Because it sounds exactly like his style of horror, especially if, like, because you mentioned that, like, she gives this stare,
Holy shit, they
and
are
this
written by
guy-
the same person.
And this guy
He
is
also
iconic
wrote
for that.
Happiness.
Yep, yep, he did write
Okay.
Happiness. I have the first volume. Jesus.
Okay, yeah, I guess the dots are all connecting. Because it's like,
yeah,
this isn't a horror anime, but it feels like it. This is technically a slice of life drama. But
that
like,
does not sound like a slice of life, dog.
I was about to be like,
there is nothing supernatural or like intrinsically horrifying happening other than the blackmail and being a middle schooler.
Nothing supernatural happens in Blood on the Tracks either.
I'm sorry?
In Blood on the Tracks,
Wait, did you say nothing significant happened?
I said nothing supernatural.
Oh, okay.
It's just terrifying. Happiness, yeah, you got supernatural stuff going on there, but
No, but like, she's basically like, here, I want you to write me an essay about how taking this uniform made you feel. And I want you to give it to me. And like, for half the show, he's like, fuck that. I'm not doing it. This is stupid. And then eventually, like, everything in his life just starts going great. And it's awesome. Like, I'm not going to spoil it, but like, things are looking up Millhouse. Despite all the shit she's doing to him, like, he ends up coming out the other side of it okay. And things are going good. And then she's like, meet me after class at midnight at the school. So he sneaks out of his house. He goes to the school. He meets up in the classroom. And she's like, make sure to bring the uniform. And he's like, okay. And basically, she's like, write down on this board that you're a fucking perv who took this uniform and rubbed it all over your body and why you did it. And then he basically has a fucking mental breakdown. He's like, no, I'm done. I'm done with this shit. I can't do this shit, bro. I'm fucking over it. My life is going good. Why the fuck don't you leave me alone? What is wrong with you? And then she eventually just gets mad. She's like, she gives him a fucking another death stare. And she's like, fine, we're done. I don't ever want to see you again. Don't ever talk to me again. We're done. We're over. I thought I could finally find somebody I could relate to, but I guess not. Fuck out of here. I don't want to have anything to do with you anymore. I'm not going to tell anybody shit about what I saw. And like, the shit she's saying to him cuts him so deep for like reasons he can't understand that he's like, fuck it. And then he starts writing on the chalkboard. Starts going to town on the chalkboard about what a fucking disgusting perv he is and how he's fucking gross and how he loved rubbing that uniform all over his body. And he fills up the entire board. And then the next thing that happens is one of the most beautifully animated things I've ever seen in my life. This man and this fucking sociopathic woman destroy this fucking classroom. They demolish this shit. They start taking out the like fucking calligraphy inks, and then they start throwing it all over the fucking room. They start flipping desks. They start breaking people's pencils and shit. They start ripping people's pages out of their books. They start fucking up this classroom. And it is over a swelling orchestra under slow motioned rotoscoped animation. And it is absolutely fucking gorgeous. And this is the edit that I saw in that TikTok, is of this classroom destruction scene. And then
Nice.
what happens next is you get like 5 minutes of them walking home in silence. And it's beautiful. Like, this anime knows how to let a moment breathe. And I fuck with it. And I can't recommend it to fucking anybody. This anime is also unfinished. And will never be finished. There was supposed to be a season 2. And possibly a 3 or a 4. They got about a quarter of the way through the story. And the anime did so shit and was so expensive, it never got renewed for another season. And I hate the way the manga looks. So I'm just kind of like, I'm done. All right. Good enough. Got what I wanted. More shit happens in the anime if you're like actually interested in it. That's only about like halfway through the show. As I said, shit kind of keeps escalating and doesn't stop.
It's what he does.
Which makes me think the way this manga ends probably gets real fucking bad. The end of the anime shows a teaser for season 2 and what it was supposed to be. And I'm like, oh no. The fucking 10-second supercut that they showed off showed an exponential escalation in how fucked this anime would have gotten had it gotten renewed. But like, as the anime stands now, It is an interesting show about being a teenager with anxiety and thinking too much about what other people think and trying so hard to be interesting and develop an identity when you don't even know shit about yourself. And I said, I fuck with it. Like, I don't regret my time with the show at all. I do not care that it's not finished. I got a lot out of it. Don't watch it out of 10.
I mean, the guy has a very specific art style. I'm
I
guessing
said, I fucking hate the way the manga looks compared to the TV show.
because I'm sure the TV show looks gorgeous, but the way he
Because-
draws people's faces when he wants them to look scary is untouchable.
I mean, yeah, that might be what's happening in the anime, but also like the deal is I didn't know this anime took place in a middle school. I thought it took place in a high school the whole time because the actors they rotoscoped are very obviously adults.
I would hope so.
So this taking place in a middle school makes this entire story way more fucked.
Yeah. Did you keep reading Blood on the Tracks, Stephanie?
I did for a while. Literally, like right when that came up, I was like, dang, I was still waiting for the other chapter to come out. But I'm pretty sure there's probably like,
More now?
yeah, like 6 or 10 by this point.
You know what's wild, Jake?
What?
So, because I think it was Blood on the Tracks. Dude is writing all this, right? And it's pretty long. And I'm pretty sure I'm not confusing this with someone else, but they're like, I'm almost done. This is the prologue to my new series. Like, Blood on the Tracks is just supposed to be prologue.
Damn.
And I don't know how, because that shit is wild.
And I said, like, the anime apparently, so there's 4 compendium volumes. The anime got through 1.5. And I'm like, I'm kind of okay with where we're at here. Because it doesn't necessarily, like, had I not been shown what was in store for the second season, like right at the end of the anime, I would have just thought the show ended. I kind of have no interest in reading the manga because I like where the show ends. I'm not reviewing the manga,
bro.
I'm reviewing the show, and I don't think I intend on reading the rest of the comic. I'm good. I got a lot out of this anime. I'm probably the only fucking one, because apparently nobody liked this fucking show. That's okay.
I'm sure I'll appreciate the animation.
God, the music goes... Like, it doesn't... It's subtle, but it's always subtle when it needs to be. And that's why the music in this fucking show is so good. As I said, it's horror, but it's not. It's slice of life. It's just horrifying slice of life. But not horrifying in, like, your mom got cancer or your dad's abusive. It's like, yeah, it's the horror of being a fucking grade schooler and dealing with other shitty grade schoolers and being a teenager. And it was good. Don't, like, I guess, maybe. Like, that's kind of the only thing I found on High Dive worth watching. Maybe I'll find something else before I cancel my subscription. But I regret nothing. $5 well spent. Yeah, I mean, that's where I'm at. I mean, who am I supposed to transition to next? Aren't we done with shows?
Stephanie has one more show.
What's up, Stephanie? What you got?
No, I was about to say we can skip this one.
Yeah, I mean, I'll skip my last one too. Watched Atlanta season 2 or 3 and 4. Show's good. Always good.
What the fuck? You can't
What?
skip that?
I'm skipping it, bro.
No, you're not.
I needed a palate cleanser after that fucking anime.
Gosh.
You
And
are
Atlanta
not skipping
season
Atlanta.
3 and 4 is what I needed. Done.
Wait, did you
Moving on.
No, bitch. Because I will never get to talk about the show otherwise. So fuck. you.
Moving on, baby.
Fine.
Wait.
I will just say one thing. What I absolutely love, what I thought was like pure Donald genius, is everyone was like, how are they going to end this? How are they going to end this show? How can they possibly do it?
Is season 4 the end of the show?
Yeah.
Great.
Over.
I'm glad. Honestly.
Yeah, no, it's perfect. But, and what's the thing, whenever a show's going to end, what's that joke thing everyone always says? Oh, it was all a dream. And then Donald did the exact opposite of that. Genius.
Like,
10
I'm
out
just
of
saying, like
10.
Atlanta is... Few shows make me laugh like Atlanta. Love that fucking show. That show gets raw sometimes. It gets real. But also that show makes me fucking laugh. And season 3 and 4, I know, like, season 3 gets fucking nutty. Season 3 is wild, bro. Like, that entire Europe season is nuts. the whole way through.
You know, people didn't like
Yeah,
it.
bro. I loved it.
So did
I mean,
I.
they probably. I mean, it's not in the hood. I get it. It's kind of removed for what the core of season 1 and 2 were. But I don't care because it just lets the writers go as surreal as they want to. Like when those teenagers are chasing Paperboy through Amsterdam and then they just fucking take that baby, bro. I was like scream laughing.
Yeah.
And this is when I had like that 105-degree fever on my fucking deathbed. Like that shit took laughing that hard while that sick took years off my life, and I don't regret a goddamn minute of it.
Because it's too good.
They fucking walk up to that carriage and they just they take that baby. Yoink. And then the fucking genuine dismay of the mom and her fucking and the grandma as they're chasing these fucking teenagers. And they're literally just fucking monkeying the middling this fucking baby. Just yeeting that bitch. And I'm like, God damn. And it's literally like a 10-second bit.
All it needs to be.
And Paperboy is just looking at that shit and he's like, damn, glad I dodged those teenagers. This is fucked. All right. Moving on. Just good ass television, bro.
It is.
There, you got your Atlanta talk.
All right. Stephanie, you read or started reading Vagabond.
I did. And I'm now on chapter 56. I think there are 327 chapters
What
that are
the
out right
fuck?
now.
I heard he's
Mhm.
not finishing that shit.
Jeez. I don't know how he's not, but also too, I'm like barely in the beginning. But my goodness, it has also messed me up. Robert got some of my existential texts earlier today and yesterday, and basically it is about a man's way to enlightenment. But also too, there are two main characters in it, and it is based in the 1600s in Japan. So Endo Japan and samurai and different things like that. And it's just freaking wild. And just the things that happen, like, oh my goodness.
This has been on my list for a while. I'm pretty excited to eventually
Is it like a
read
biopic? Is it surreal? Like, what is it?
I think it's like kind of pretty realistic. It
Is
is
it just like the horrors of growing up in 1600s Japan? Because I heard the Edo period was
Whoa.
pretty fucked, even though it's viciously glorified.
Technically, but also to like put a spin on it in like a philosophical way. So like choosing how you're going to live your life and like what you're going to pursue. And so it's just I guess I'll put it this way. So Jake, Robert, you all see a group of samurai. You are also samurai. And one of you is outside and one of you is already charging to the samurai. Do you go and help the other person out or do you not go and help them out?
Oh, fuck no.
Was he part of my group?
Yes. So you and Jake, you went to war together.
Oh, this is war.
Well, it's not. It's after the war, but you both had survived.
And this is the enemy. The enemy's
No, it's not
survivors.
enemy, it's beef.
I was like, they can be enemies, but yeah,
It's
it's
not enemies
basically
after
beef.
the fucking war is over, buddy.
They killed men that I loved.
You actually don't know if they killed anybody. You
Okay,
just
so
see them picking on people, and all of a sudden you're like, oh shit, I'm gonna run in.
like
What do
that's what I
you
mean. Like,
choose?
is this what's the context here? Is this like, yo, I am part of Group A, and these dudes are wearing the same uniforms as the people we just fought?
No. So also too, in the Endo period, there are different kind of, I guess, like people and like, I guess parts of the country, right? So also to kind of think of the United States.
Yeah,
And
this is like
they
a bunch of shogun kings, right? Like samurai, not kings, but like
exactly,
governors. What is the leader of the state? Isn't that a governor?
basically.
Yeah,
So
bunch of samurai
and
governors.
right. And also too, there are like a lot of different, you can call them like gangs now for like current terms, right? So there are a lot of different people who are like, hey, I'm a samurai. I can help your castle or your province. Or again, right, you could be like right next to a province, which would be like states. So basically, there's a lot of
Territory.
people who don't belong to one another, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it was like a warring state period of like civil war fuckery between all the samurai, which is why I
So
think
What I mean is, this isn't like a racism thing. This isn't like after
No,
Pearl Harbor, Americans seen random
no.
Japanese people and attacking them because they're Japanese.
No, it's like a
Mm-mm.
power struggle and philosophy, ideological struggle, if I remember right.
So there's no reason to believe that these people are bad.
So there is, because they are coming in, right? You see them going into a house and they're going to take things. And you see that there are two women in this house.
Okay, see, that changes things. Yeah, I would probably follow my buddy.
Jake, what would you do?
Fuck out of here. I ain't dying for no reason.
You're a warrior,
And warriors fight battles to win, buddy.
so you're just gonna let these women be whatever happens behind closed doors,
What I'm saying is,
and you're gonna let your buddy go by himself.
at best, I'm gonna run in there, get clapped immediately, and then what's about
Maybe
to
the
happen is gonna
women,
happen.
maybe the women run away in that time, or maybe your buddy doesn't die alone.
All I'm saying is this is why I don't belong. This is why I couldn't fuck with the thug gang life. It's because if like my homie's like, hey, yo, those guys, they starting some shit, and then he tries to start some shit with those guys, like you're on your own, buddy.
And I think this conversation is like the perfect way that it actually like happens in the manga. And this is, of course, is like in the first few chapters. You see two different men basically take two different paths. And also two, one is trying to go to a path of enlightenment, while the other one is trying to basically like fake his way to enlightenment. And so there is just like so many different things that come up.
Damn, can't wait to read this and realize that I'm leading the fake path of enlightenment.
Uh, there's just a lot of wild shit that happens in it. Also, too, even the man that is going on the path of enlightenment, right? Put that in quotation marks. Like he still has to struggle with a lot of crazy shit, like abandonment, like humiliation, and how to kind of come back, and also what being a man and all of this other stuff is supposed to mean. Which I was like, Jesus,
I said like
this
the
is a
Edo
lot.
period just sounds fucking wild. Like that's also what Samurai Champloo is about: is the end of the Edo period and the end of the Samurai period.
Hmm,
Would be a good one to watch. But anyway,
it's up to someone. You're
And
not
what
doing thing. You're not doing the right thing for the right reasons. You're just doing it because you want to be perceived as a hero.
I mean, Samurai Champloo is like it's kind of about what the fuck does it mean to be a samurai in the age where samurai are dying out.
yeah. I guess also too one last question that kind of relates to this. So also as well, if you could like get to a place of like prosperity, right? Where basically like people would just hear your name and you would be able to get money. You would be able to get women, men, everything that you ever wanted. Would you take that knowing that it isn't your name and you basically took that from somebody else? Or would you work your way up to that point?
Wait, can you repeat that?
Yeah. So I guess, would you take somebody else's name, right? Their like notoriety, take it as your own, or would you rather work for your notoriety for people to know your name instead of taking somebody else's?
When you say taking someone's name, do you mean literally steal their identity or go into a family?
It could be either way that you perceive that.
I mean, the pride in me says I want to have earned this, but in real life, I have gone out and tried to live life my way without my parents' help because I wanted to make it my own way. And I realized that, taking help isn't always bad and it can make your life easier. So I guess there's a sweet spot, Don't
Hmm.
just like take it and not offer anything back, but also don't shut yourself away to the point where you don't let anyone get close because you are so stuck in your way of, oh, I have to prove myself.
I mean, I'm pretty fucking stubborn. Like if I didn't earn it, don't give it to me. I don't want it.
Hey Jake,
What?
you buy your PS5?
No, but that's a gift. Like that was a birthday gift. So I guess I'm not allowed to accept birthday gifts anymore.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying like, it's okay to accept things.
Yeah, but like what I'm saying is if like I got in good with the dean of my school and then he's like, "Hey, this last quarter, don't worry about it. I'm making sure you get straight A's in all four of your classes no matter how well you do or even if you show up." I'll be like, "No, fuck you. I'm going."
Okay, but what if he
Even if
called
I
you in?
was fucking miserable the whole time.
What if he called you in though and he was like, "Hey, so we have this scholarship money that's left over, and I was gonna give it to someone in your class, and I literally drew your name out of a hat. So your courses are paid for this semester."
See, luck is like the difference is I think what Stephanie is proposing is if
Oh, would you just take
they
it?
got you confused with another guy with the same name, but he's dead. But before he bid it, he earned the scholarship money. You gonna take it or nah?
That's a good way to put that.
Like, nah, I ain't fucking doing it. Even if the like money would go to waste and I would lose nothing. Like I didn't earn it. Wasn't my scholarship.
Plot twist: the people that wrote Mad Men just read a Vagabond. Anyways,
Big.
Like that's how I perceive that is if like you already put me on blast. If there was another Jacob Burt who got a fucking full ride scholarship and then he died, but they just assumed that I'm that Jacob Burt because I'm not dead or some shit. I'd be like, yeah, that's not my money.
they're like, but your name's right there. Let me see your school ID. Yep, that's you.
Okay, well, I mean, the difference is the school IDs probably wouldn't match.
Well,
Robert, what would you do if you were given that same thing? They had the same first and last name as you. Would you take their identity in quotation marks?
in the manga, whoever's in this situation has to make a choice. Do they have anyone that they're going to lose by making this decision?
Technically, no.
Then I'm doing it.
I guess before you answer, though, let's say this, right?
I have nothing to lose. I don't have a family behind that I'm giving up by falling to this temptation.
Ooh,
So I'm
wow.
falling down.
Technically, you turned your back on your family for
This opportunity,
basically, like, no, like 20 seconds of pleasure.
Jesus,
Yeah, and then you
that
found
fast.
yourself in another another situation.
This is a pretty extreme hypothetical going on here.
Yeah. Like, I don't want to say it, but like,
All I'm saying is Robert has literally seen me pick a $5 bill up off the ground while walking down the street. I pick it up and then go, oh, wait, this isn't mine. I didn't drop this. And then I literally set it back down on the sidewalk and kept walking.
I did watch
And
you do
this
that.
was followed by
What?
Robert looking at me going, are you fucking stupid? And then he picked up the $5 and then pocketed it.
You're goddamn right.
That's the type of people we are, Stephanie.
This is so fucking great.
Because I'm just like,
So-
what if this man comes back looking for his $5? What if this was like a homeless dude's last $5? This ain't mine. I have no hope of finding the guys whose it was.
Hey Jake,
I'm gonna just leave it here.
why
Because
don't
that's
we?
what I can deem the right thing to do.
Why don't we finish that story? What did I do with those $5?
I don't fucking remember.
I gave it to a homeless guy outside of the Hiko.
That's it, man. This is just the difference in type of people we are.
But it's fine. We can just
Like
we can
that.
just leave that part
I
out. I'll
feel
edit
like-
that part out.
Oh,
I
he wasn't even homeless.
You give homeless people more money than I do on a regular basis. That's fine. I'm just saying that is the perfect story that aptly defines both of our characters.
Yes, but I think that the context of the end of it shows us that we can be more complex than simple yes or no questions.
As I said, I was given back by not taking, and I'm okay with that.
Redistribution of wealth. Fuck's the sidewalk gonna do with it?
I redistributed by taking less. It is now fate's chance to see who gets that $5. And it turns out it was
Yeah.
a homeless man. So I still win. Fuck you.
First it was me, so
So I
fuck you.
still win. Fuck you.
Oh my gosh. Well, that's basically what Vagabond is about. Like, just all of these different things and
Robert
all
and
of
I's
these different
relationship.
choices. Honestly, yeah. I think this is actually like the perfect thing to bring up because you both took it in a way that is related to Vagabond, but also to not technically related in modern
But
terms.
also, Jake, you're fucking stupid. Why didn't you just take that $5, you fucking idiot?
You should have, Jake.
Oh my gosh.
See, here's the thing.
If I
Jake
don't
was
need, if I don't need something, I don't take it.
Jake was also always on the verge of like, man, I have no money to buy food. Man, you know what? Like, if this doesn't pan out, I'm gonna be living in my car. taking showers at the gym, and he couldn't take $5 that showed up at his feet.
Because I was about to be in a situation where I was in need, but I was never in a situation where I was in need until this last quarter, where I was like, fuck, paid off school, but also now I have literally no money. And then my sister's like, I'll pay your rent. And I was like, solid.
Wish
This
my
is
siblings
the
loved me enough.
only time I've fucking taken that kind of help, and it's fine. My sister knows I'm good for it. Whenever I borrow money, it always gets paid back.
Vagabond.
Vagabond. I'm on the cover.
You both are.
$5 on the street out of 10.
Whoa.
No, I'll let you give the rating.
I was about to say, I would say it's a 9 because, again, these are just some of the things that we talked about. So there is a lot of complexities, but also, too, sometimes it really is just as simple as a yes or no. And it really just tackles that and like what we do for like simple comforts versus like discipline and what we're going to do for basically our goals. It's good shit. It's good shit.
I really fucking hope that the guy that I relate to the most isn't the guy that gave up on his family to nut in 20 seconds.
I just made that part up. I don't know if it was 20 seconds. Maybe it was like 3 minutes, but I'm gonna tell you right now.
Still pretty shortchanged. Right?
Yeah, I was like, you have high hopes.
You're gonna backstab your whole family for 3 minutes and nut?
Yeah, well,
You're gonna throw your brother underneath a fucking bus for fucking 3 minutes of bust, dog?
and it just gets crazier after that. But Vagabond. So also to who else is going next?
I didn't read shit. Not gonna lie, I've been busy with finals. So Robert's up.
The
read any?
last thing I'm going to talk about is going to be at the end. So whoever, either if you want to talk about the other thing you read, or Jake, if you want to talk about your YouTube or your music.
Let's just go to music because I don't need to talk about the last thing that I read.
I mean, I don't know what to say other than like been listening to these songs because of TikTok edits on YouTube. That's about it. Link in the description. Piska is a breakcore artist that I've been keeping an eye on, and their shit's not bad. If you're a fan of Sewer Slut, go ahead and give them a peek. I'll link, or by link, I mean I'll make Robert link a song I've been jamming out to recently called Oyasumi Saito by Piska. And if you like it, they have like a 40-minute mix of like their songs on YouTube. Just look them up. That's it. Been listening to a lot of the Cyberpunk soundtrack and Hatsune Miku. Those are both, they fuck. Everybody knows that. Not a whole lot to say about it. If you watched Edge Runners, you know how good the Cyberpunk soundtrack is. Because the Cyberpunk 2077 soundtrack and the Edge Runner soundtrack are the same soundtrack. Over to one of you two. I don't know what the fuck. Who's going next?
Well, do you want to talk about any of your YouTube videos?
I mean, yeah, fuck it, whatever. Let's see. Run down the list real quick. Nobody cares about that middle one. But Hazel, a anime YouTuber I really like because I get to live vicariously through her anime passion, put out a YouTube video on anime Dennys and its depiction in anime. So go watch that shit if you want to see some anime Dennys. Also, did you know K-On had a Denny's promotion that we didn't get in the States, and I'm fucking mad about it?
What? I didn't know that.
Bro, they have anime fucking like crossovers all the time, and it's like genuinely upsetting that we don't get that shit here. Because I'm just like, damn, yeah, I would love to order the fucking K-On flavored dessert. Yes, please, give me more. Give me my anime girls on the fucking Denny's menu. Like, goddamn, I'm a simple man with simple needs. Number 2, I've been listening to. So you know how I mentioned I got horribly sick this month?
Yeah, just a little bit.
Yeah, I got so sick that it hurt to have my eyes open. So, to entertain myself without hurting myself, I listened to the entirety of 20-Sided Stories Marvel Survivors of the Snap, which is technically a tabletop role-playing podcast set in the Marvel Universe. And these guys are so fucking underrated. Like every podcast that they do, so they do like tabletop RPG podcasts, not too unsimilar to your Critical Role or your like Dimension 20. But everything they do goes so fucking hard, and it's due to the just raw passion and love they have for these projects. Like the DM, Sage GC, makes original music for every single season they do. And he just gives away the music, but yeah, you can go buy it too if you want to support him. And every remix, every song he does actually fucking rules. So specifically, I've listened to the Pokemon one they've done, but Marvel, Survivors of the Snap, takes place in between Infinity War and Endgame. It is about a couple of superhero or superpowered individuals trying to adjust to a life where 50% of the people they know are dead, and the Avengers have gone AWOL. And it is like horribly entertaining. Like I had to stop listening to this shit at work because I was too engaged in the narrative to actually get any work done. And like it got to the point where they all of the players and the GM, they did this for Pokemon too. They sing a song at the end of the series when it's wrapping up. And it just like makes me tear up every single fucking time, bro. Like the song that they made for this Marvel like season goes hard, bro.
I mean, I don't mean to come at you, but Tetris fucking made you tear up. I don't know how much credence I give to this.
I mean, I guess, man. I mean, I made Robert sit down and listen to the prologue of this show. Like the editing is genuinely amazing.
It is.
Because they play a regular tabletop RPG with dice and shit, but he edits it in such a way that it just sounds like an audio drama. Like he cuts it down a lot. And everybody he has on there is so good at improv and so good at like crafting a group narrative that there's always a good through line to the story. Like in D&D,
they know what the final product is going to sound like, and it shows.
Yeah, like in D&D, people will like just fuck up your plans horribly, and then the DM will be like, "Oh shit, I don't know what to do." In this game, that happens all the time, and they always just roll with it. It's like the pinnacle of like yes and tabletop gameplay. And he makes every single role-playing game they play. Like they don't play established role-playing games, he just makes them. And I love that too, because really all you need to play a tabletop RPG is you, your homies, and like something to decide outcomes, and that's kind of it. Like if you want to play a tabletop RPG where like you just flip a coin to see if the outcome is in your favor or not, fucking do it. What's stopping you? Have fun, make a narrative, tell the story with your friends. Like tabletop RPGs give you an experience like no other, and this show kind of like epitomizes what I like about them. It's not the cool session that I planned that always comes up when I talk about all the RPGs I've ran. It's always the shit that I didn't see coming is what we talk about. Like when my players spend 3 hours running through the logistics of starting a sham religion and scamming this town out of money when they were just supposed to go kill a fucking dragon. It's the fucking weirdly specific detail that this guy goes into as he says he's making the church benches and he's fucking drawing out the measurements and they're this long and sanded down to this precise measurement. It's the epilogue where I'm like, hey man, what do you want to do now? I'm gonna buy a bed and breakfast and I'm starting a bed and breakfast. And then he just goes into like a long monologue about how his character started a bed and breakfast. Like so that shit you didn't see coming is what I love about tabletop RPGs. It's not the epic stories. It's just hanging out with your homies, making shit up, having fun. Just like you used to do back when you were like a kid during elementary recess. It's a good time. Rob, Stephanie, what you got?
Well, what do you give that?
I give it about as good as Infinity War out of 10.
High praise. Stephanie, you got anything else going on?
I don't think so. Nothing I can think of.
So I read a book. It's called, and I don't care if I'm mispronouncing this, I like sounding like this, The Anthropocene Reviewed. Anthropocene means the current geological age in which humans have profoundly reshaped the planet and its biochemistry. So, this book is written by John Green, and it's a collection.
Fucking ooh!
Whoa.
And it's a collection of essays. So, when I was in high school,
Of course you were.
I read a little book called Fault in Our Stars.
So did everybody. Fuck you.
Yes, so did everybody. And I fell in love with this book.
I read that fucking book.
And I praised John Green everywhere. I was like, wow, this guy's amazing. And one thing I really liked was the thing that everyone thought. He's not romanticizing diseases, he's showing the ugly parts. But what I really loved is John Green's ability to have the most amazing quotes. Like, man just knows how to write really good quotes. You can find Tumblrs and a bunch of pages online just dedicated to John Green quotes. And as I grew older, a movie came out. I haven't seen the movie. And John Green started becoming more popular. I started to not like him.
Damn, it's almost like you stopped being a teenager.
And I didn't know why. Like, I was like, is this really what happens? You get older and you stop liking popular things? Do I not like it because it became popular? Did I feel like I was part of some elite club that read this first? And I didn't think so. I just couldn't. Why didn't I like this piece of realistic fiction? And eventually I figured out that it's because it's not realistic fiction. It's fantasy. I have never met a single person that speaks the way John Green characters speak at that age. These amazing quotes he had, I don't think people talk like that. Great literature, but it just didn't fit. It didn't make sense to me that like teenagers had the emotional, and they don't always, but I just, for the moments where they say some of these quotes, I was like, how do you, and maybe you're right. That's what it was. Not a teenager anymore. These books weren't written for me. So I kind of sort of was like, all right, whatever. And gave up on John Green. I watched his YouTube and his other stuff. And to be honest, I thought, that's the guy that wrote Fault in Our Stars? I just didn't get that vibe from him. I don't know if you're supposed to get a vibe from someone. Like, I see Stephen King and I think, oh yeah, that guy writes horror. This makes sense. I just didn't see that for John Green though. Well, when he did interviews with people and people asked him about his books, people would assume that he shared his protagonist's views. Or they started to ask him questions like he was the protagonist and he's not. And he started feeling like his self wasn't really his, but instead something that he was selling. And he didn't want to write like that anymore. So he stopped. He was still doing book tour though, and him and his brother, they went and they did a book tour together. He was with them. And while they were doing that, in order to pass the time, they would look up reviews for things. Because everything has a review nowadays. Like, he mentions that a bench that was in the movie The Fault in Our Stars has 5 out of 5 stars because it was in the fucking movie. Everything has star reviews now, and that didn't used to be how it was. So they would find different reviews and try to one up each other with like the best review they could find. Like, one of them he mentions is like 1 out of 5, not enough mountain, on a review of a mountain. I think the bench's best review was 5 out of 5 stars. It's a bench. And he told his brother, I kind of want to review things like the human condition things. And his brother was like, the Anthropocene Reviewed. And so John Green set to making a podcast where he did that, where he talked about all these things and kind of just did that. This was right before 2020. And then the pandemic happened. Something he's been terrified of, by the way. He states it multiple times that his greatest fear was the global pandemic, and then it happened. And through all that time, that podcast became this book. And this book is literally just a bunch of essays where he reviews different things. He reviews things like velociraptors, teddy bears, air conditioning, the internet, humanity's temporal range, Super Mario Kart, Indianapolis. And he's just writing these essays. And so it makes sense he writes the way he writes. And he has such a beautiful way of writing. And it's honestly just one of the best things I've read because it's a man writing a bunch of reviews to help him get through fearful time known as the pandemic. And I'm going to read a short review he's got here. It's not super short, but it's not longer than anything else we've talked about. So here's one, and it's Diet Dr. Pepper. The story of Dr. Pepper begins in 1885 in Waco, Texas, where a pharmacist named Charles Alderton combined 23 syrup flavors to create a new kind of carbonated drink. Notably, Alderton sold the recipe for Dr. Pepper after a few years because he wanted to pursue his passion, pharmaceutical chemistry. He worked at the drug company Eli Lilly before going back to his hometown to head up the laboratory at the Waco Drug Company. Dr. Pepper is a drug too, of course, Caffeine and sugar are two of the defining chemical compounds of the Anthropocene. Pepsi, Coca-Cola, root beer, and most other flavored sodas were invented either by chemists or pharmacists, and in the 19th century, there was no bright line between medicinal cocktails and recreational ones. Alderton's soda probably would have remained a Texas-only phenomenon, eventually disappearing like so many other local soda flavors. The Opera Bouquet, the Swizzle Fizz, the Almond Sponge, had it not been for the dogged determination of Woodrow Wilson Clements, who preferred to be called Foots, a nickname he picked up in high school, due to his oddly shaped toes. Foots, the youngest of 8 children, grew up in a tiny Alabama town of Wingham Springs. He got a football scholarship at the University of Alabama, where he was teammates with Bear Bryant. In 1935, when Foots was a senior in college, he started working as a Dr. Pepper salesman. He retired 51 years later as CEO of a soft drink company worth over $400 million. By 2020, the Keurig Dr. Pepper Corporation, which owns, among many other brands, 7-Up, RC Cola, and 4 different kinds of root beer, is valued at over $40 billion. Almost all of its products are some form of sweetened and/or caffeinated water. Foots Clements succeeded because he understood precisely what made Dr. Pepper significant. I've always maintained, he said, you cannot tell anyone what Dr. Pepper tastes like because it's so different. It's not an apple. It's not an orange. It's not a strawberry. It's not a root beer. It's not even a cola. Cola, after all, is derived from cola nuts and vanilla, 2 real-world flavors. Sprite has that lemon lime taste. Purple soda is ostensibly grape flavored, but Dr. Pepper has no natural world analog. In fact, U.S. trademark courts have tackled this issue, categorizing Dr. Pepper and its knockoffs as pepper sodas, even though they contain no pepper, and the pepper in Dr. Pepper refers not to the spice, but either to someone's actual name or else to pep, the feeling that Dr. Pepper supposedly fills you with. It's the only category of soda not named for what it tastes like, which to my mind is precisely why Dr. Pepper marks such an interesting and important moment in human history. It was an artificial drink that didn't taste like anything. It wasn't like an orange, but better. Or like a lime, but sweet. In an interview, Charles Alderton once said he wanted to create a soda that tasted like the soda fountain in Waco smelled. All those artificial flavors swirling together in the air. Dr. Pepper is, in its very conception, unnatural, creation of a chemist. The first 0-calorie version of Dr. Pepper was released in 1962. This initial dietetic Dr. Pepper was a failure. Diet Dr. Pepper became a huge success when it was reformulated in 1991 with a new artificial sweetener. I know how to pronounce this. Aspartame?
Aspartame.
Aspartame. It also relaunched with a new advertising slogan. Diet Dr. Pepper. Tastes more like regular Dr. Pepper. Which it really does. Coke and Diet Coke are barely recognizable as relatives. If Coke is a golden eagle, Diet Coke is a hummingbird. But Dr. Pepper and Diet Dr. Pepper taste like each other, which is especially interesting since, as Foots Clements pointed out, neither of them taste like anything else. Now, many people find the artificiality of Diet Dr. Pepper revolting. You often hear people say, there are so many chemicals in it. Of course there are. There's also lots of chemicals in wine or coffee or air. The underlying concern, though, is a sensible one. Diet Dr. Pepper is just so profoundly artificial. That's why I love it. Diet Dr. Pepper allows me to enjoy a relatively safe taste that was engineered for me. When I drink it, I think of the kids at the soda fountain in Waco, Texas, most of whom rarely knew the pleasures of an ice cold drink of any kind, and how totally enjoyable those first Dr. Peppers must have been. Each time I drink a Diet Dr. Pepper, I am newly astonished. Look at what humans can do. They can make ice cold, sugary, sweet, 0-calorie soda that tastes like everything and also like nothing. I don't labor under the delusion that Diet Dr. Pepper is good for me, but in moderation, it also probably isn't bad for me. Drinking too much Diet Dr. Pepper can be bad for your teeth and may increase other health risks. But as Dr. Aaron Carroll puts it in his book, The Bad Food Bible, there's a potential and likely very real harm from consuming added sugar. There is likely none from artificial sweeteners. So Diet Dr. Pepper probably isn't a health risk for me. And yet, I feel as if I'm committing a sin whenever I drink Diet Dr. Pepper. Nothing that sweet can be truly virtuous. But it's an exceptionally minor vice. And for whatever reason, I've always felt like I need a vice. I don't know whether this feeling is universal, but I have some way down vibrating part of my subconscious that needs to self destruct, at least a little bit. In my teens and early 20s, I smoked cigarettes compulsively, 30 or 40 a day. The pleasure of smoking for me wasn't about a buzz. The pleasure came from the jolt of giving in to an unhealthy physical craving, which over time increased my physical cravings, which in turn increased the pleasure of giving into them. I haven't smoked in more than 15 years, but I don't think I've ever quite escaped that cycle. There remains a yearning within my subconscious that cries out for a sacrifice. And so I offer up a faint shadow of a proper vice and drink Diet Dr. Pepper, the soda that tastes more like the Anthroposophy than any other. After going through dozens of slogans through the decades, Dr. Pepper billed itself as tasting like liquid sunshine, as the pepper picker upper, as the most original soft drink ever. These days, the company's slogan is more to the point. They call it the one you crave. I give Diet Dr. Pepper 4 stars. And that's just
Out
one
of
of his
what?
reviews out of 5.
Yeah. Honestly, pretty mid soda then.
4 out of 5 is a mid soda.
Like most sodas are 4 out of 5.
I mean, that's your opinion.
Dog, I'm drinking fucking Walmart brand Diet Coke right now. That's a fucking 3 out of 5. So like anything better than that, which isn't that hard, probably is 4.
I mean, I have
Would you
the
say Sprite
context.
is a fucking 2 out of 5?
I would say Sprite is a
What? I
depends.
was about to
Sprite
say
is a
spicy
4.
Sprite.
I would say it's a 4 out of 5 from McDonald's.
That's
It's
not fair.
a
I'm talking about a can because anything fucking from a fountain
3 out of 5.
machine
3 out of
is
5
always
for
better.
Sprite.
Bitch.
What?
Okay, 7-Up.
2 out of 5.
Fuck you, they're the same thing.
No, they're not.
The same fucking flavor.
No, they're not.
Stephanie, what's your favorite soda? Rate it right now.
I was about to say I like spicy Sprite. I ain't gonna lie. That's probably like my favorite.
It's so crisp.
Nice. I was about to say. Good stuff. Also, too, it doesn't like mess with your stomach, especially with the dyes and stuff, since like Sprite doesn't have that.
I
Yeah,
just
that's
destroy my insides, deal with the consequences later.
sometimes.
Yeah, no, it's a really good book though. I haven't finished it because I am enjoying it so much. I want to take my time with it. Some things are longer than others. Teaches you a little bit about the history of where some things came from, while also giving you a little snippet of John Green's real self. And like I said, he wrote this because during the pandemic he was scared and he was terrified. Through all the bad, he did see that there were some humans trying to help other humans, and he just wanted to write his thoughts out there, put them out there. Thought it's pretty neat. A lot of these do end with a little uplifting thing. I just those are pretty long. Didn't want to read those out loud.
Bitch, this one was pretty long.
This was the shortest one I found, but pretty good. I'll give it a 9 out of 10.
Give it a... Unless I receive a free audiobook, fuck that.
That's
Out of
fine.
10.
But yeah, that was my month. Stephanie, did you want to mention anything else?
No, I'm good.
Jake?
Nah, bro. I got it all in. Except for the Olympics. I can complain about that another day. That shit makes me so mad.
All right, so Jake and I are sitting on the couch, and I don't remember what the fuck we were doing. Probably playing some fighting game. No, actually, we were watching a DBZ Fighters tournament, and we read or see something about video games are coming to the Olympics. And Jake over here gets super excited.
I did.
Do you want to give your
I
guesses?
was like, damn, bro. Like, maybe we'll see some Counter-Strike. Like, I don't even like StarCraft, but fuck it, bro. That's basically a national sport, at least to Korea. Throw that in there, bro. You know, Tetris, I'll fuck with some competitive Tetris, bro. People go wild on that shit. I literally said that. Fuck you. I was like, damn, I don't know. Maybe throw a fighting game in there. Like, fighting games are always fun and interesting to watch. You know, like, the possibilities are endless for the interesting esports we could be watching. Dance Dance Revolution, I fuck with watching some competitive Dance Dance Revolution. Let's do it. And then Robert breaks the news about the
looked it up.
games. Yeah, that made it into the Olympics for 2022 or no, 2023, 2024.
Is this the same article? I don't remember these being the ones.
Could be whatever, I don't fucking know. You might have been looking at the 2024 lineup, but they seem like the same lineup.
We got Just Dance. We got Gran Turismo. We got chess. And then we got sailing. Okay. I honestly don't know why Taekwondo, tennis, archery,
Yeah, why the
baseball
fuck is
are on here.
virtual Taekwondo, virtual tennis, virtual chess, and virtual sailing?
Those are already things that you can...
Like, who gives a shit? Why would you watch those over real fucking Taekwondo, tennis, or fucking chess? Like, goddamn, what a missed opportunity.
I think it's pretty wild that the Olympics is even having video games.
God, I hope this fucking planet gets hit by a goddamn asteroid. Like, we as the human race have dropped the ball so fucking... It was the virtual cycling, my guy, is considered an esport. Fuck me.
So did you come up with something that I'm going to do next month?
I'll fucking DM it to you later. Wrap this shit up, bro. You gotta edit this shit, and it's almost 6 hours long.
It is not 6 hours.
We started recording 5 hours and change ago.
Well, this that mother.
Have fun.
And that's a wrap for this episode. We'll catch you guys next time. Bye.
Go eat some Denny's.
See ya.